Hey y'all, welcome to another What Else is Going On, aka We Go podcast episode. I know y'all see this beautiful face that is in front of me. On the other end is this Zoom. My friend, my I'm gonna say friend slash kind of sort of business manager slash gives great advice slash is always on me about quitting Red Bull. We just talked about that. My friend Kempire, welcome.
Hey, this is my emergency breakthrough.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
the Red Bull down.
Y'all know what? He did do an emergency breakthrough. He texted me today and said, I'm coming on. I said, I'm coming on to, I was like, let's do it.
Did. That's what you got to do. Sometimes when you're trying to build up an empire, you got to be like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's
You're
do
right.
it.
So be
Let me pop
prepared.
another Red Bull.
Well, look, be prepared in your live when I pop up and with a Red Bull sponsorship.
Well, I mean, if you get a sponsorship, then there's that.
I mean, I may just sit but not drink. So how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing like as my t-shirt says, "Are you okay?" I'm fine.
I love how you start on TikTok and your shorts and like, are you okay? And I'm like, oh, something's coming. Something's coming. Somebody done did something. Are you okay?
Because, and I didn't realize I was saying it until people started pointing it out.
It was perfect. Like, are you okay? We know the answer is no, but are you okay? Like, really?
Yeah.
So, something different I wanted to start doing was because with my other I miss, with my other podcast, it was about personal development, self-help, getting to know the different layers of people, hopes, dreams, things. So, I said I wanted to start asking a question or two when my guests came on, even if we're here to talk about Bravo, pop culture. I may have asked you this the first time you came on, which you didn't know was the beginning of our beautiful friendship. Shout out to me.
Which is like what, 2 years ago? Was it
Yes.
two? Yeah.
2 years in November.
BravoCon's coming up.
What are you getting me for our anniversary?
A life. That's what we're gonna get you, Taria, Trina. We're gonna get you a life.
Right. Oh my gosh. I'm pulling back from work. I'm here. I'm not working. I'm pulling back.
I mean, it's still technically work, but
That, oh,
we're working Mike.
I didn't text you this, by the way. This was so funny how you said this is technically work. So I did a quick little Bravo gossip video the other night. I was like, I need to keep up on my content and I wanted to talk. This was a comment I got. Do you have a real job in caps or do you just sit around and gossip about people slash celebrities you don't even know?
You know how many of us have probably gotten that same comment in different
Yes.
forms?
Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
so I just said, and normally, like, so every once in a while, I'll address a nasty comment. So I said, imagine taking the time out to ask me this question. Do you have a real job or do you sit around commenting on stuff you don't seem to be interested in? Because that would make you slow. P.S. I get paid doing this. Thank you for commenting and boosting me in the algorithm. Again, slow. So thank you. I'm not even gonna call out your name. Thank you.
You know what it is? I think a lot of people that leave that type of comment, they're probably unhappy in their lives, unhappy in their jobs, and and this is why we should have empathy for them because they're unhappy. So
Yeah,
they're going to social media and they're, acting out on us. So
right.
we should take it as that. They're acting out. Woo woo woo. You'll be fine.
Are you okay?
No, clearly not.
But in the spirit of that, slowing down, making sure I'm active in life, more present, I want to ask you a question. And like I said, I think I may or may not have asked you, but I like to ask people this question. So people will say, "Hey, Kempire, if you could tell your younger self something, what would you tell them?" However, I get the sentiment behind it, but in real life, there's nothing that I could go back and tell little T, baby T, lady T that is going to
Mhm.
change anything. But what I can do is make a promise or a pact to my future me and say, hey,
Mhm.
this is what I'm going for. Wait for me. I got you. I'll be there. So if you had to congratulate the future Kempire, the Kempire, let's
Mhm.
say, of 2028, what would you congratulate yourself on achieving? Whether it's peace about a situation you didn't know you had, whether it's starting a 501k, whether it's start a business, it could be anything. But what is on your heart that you want to do, that you're going to make a pact with your future self to say, you're already there, I'm coming?
Oh, that's a really good question. No, you don't think you asked me this. I don't
Okay.
remember what we talked about the first time around. But what would I congratulate my future self on
Hmm.
is all of that hard work that you've been putting in, sleepless nights, not having a relationship. All of that has finally paid off. You're financially independent. You don't have to rely on anything or anyone.
Oh,
You
that's
don't need to be in these YouTube streets making a video every other day or every day. So I'm celebrating for me financial freedom, but also my new relationship. I'm hoping by 2028, by that particular point, I'm in a solid relationship because when we talk about balance, yes, I
yes.
love what I do. I love our community,
Hmm.
but I also realize what will only elevate what I'm doing when it comes to my work is
Hmm.
also having a life outside of this. Hence, what we see in the comment section when people are miserable, they
Yeah.
act out on social media to other people. I used to say that when I used to work in corporate America, those folks would come to work and they'd be miserable. I was like, you see those people like that? They're not happy at home.
Mm.
So my goal when I talk about balance, and that's like the big thing for me now, is having balance. Is yes, I love my work, but I also want to be able to share. Like when I just recently traveled, I want to share that with
Okay.
someone else. So I congratulate myself on financial freedom, but also this loving, supportive relationship with a billionaire. Okay, he doesn't be a billionaire, but financially, he needs to be financially independent too. Because God
Yes.
forbid something happened
Yes.
with me. And maybe that's where I get my financial independence. I don't know. But I'm open to either one. Either
it,
one.
it
Be
took
like,
me a
babe, you don't need
second.
to work. Why are you doing another video? You don't need to do it. Okay, boo.
Okay,
Okay.
look, I'll talk to y'all later as as you're closing the computer.
Like Nene.
That is really good. I love that. I'm congratulating you on as well. And since you're financially independent and he's going to be financially independent, I'm thanking the future you and him, because he'll be my friend too, for taking care of all of my expenses, me and Corey, when you have your exotic wedding.
Destination wedding.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I would prefer to have a destination wedding,
No,
but
I'm
I
just
always have
kidding.
to think, I'm like, okay, my person might
Yeah.
have like a lot of friends and family, might be very,
Yeah.
want to have all those people, but maybe he can afford to bring all of them there.
Yeah. But
That's fine.
it's interesting when you talk about maybe your person has families and when you think about relationships, when you're younger, and I know you've been in relationships, there's this certain thing, and you think that you're going to be with this person. There's certain things that as a young person you don't think about. And it was
Mm.
so random. I was scrolling, oh, I was looking up this comedian because we have not far from my house. For those of you in DC or Maryland watching, or maybe even Virginia, y'all probably know the Baltimore Comedy Factory. Stars have come through, up and coming comics have come through, and comics that are up there have come through. Not far from me, and it's a nice little night out, what have you. And there was this every once in a while they'll give away free tickets, but you still have to buy like 2 drink minimum food. So they were
Oh, okay.
giving away tickets to this female comedian. So I went on her page because I was like, well, maybe me and Corey will go. And she said, at the age I am right now, when I date you, and it sounds morbid, but then I started thinking about what she was saying. She said, your parents can't be here any longer. She said, because I'm not dealing with your parent not liking me, your mama, your daddy, you gotta do this for your mom. And when I started thinking about that, I said, that is something to think about. Cause I'm at the age now, like Corey's dad passed away. So we dealt with that.
Mm.
And then we have his mom. And then what if something happens to one of my parents? And that, so it's like you really need to have conversations. Hey, how do you feel about what if we had to take care of my parent? What if we had to take care of my parents?
Mm.
How would you feel about them living here? How would you feel about having to pay for nursing? These are questions that you act because you may be on total opposite ends of the spectrum and not even know it.
Yeah.
And I was like, those are things that we need to think about entering into relationships.
Yeah.
So,
I remember dating someone back in the day who, and it had nothing to do with their family. It was more so like how close they were with their best friend. And I felt like I was like, in long term, this ain't gonna work. And I don't
oh,
think it worked for him even with other relationships. I was like, so you're right. There are a lot of elements in regards to, yeah, this person might be perfect for you on paper, and you both might be very like in tuned and
Hmm.
very what's the word? Like a great match
Mm.
together, compatible. And it could be these other elements outside of the person that you didn't like, your mother's a little bit involved, or your mother's a little, or your father is a little homophobic, or you just don't, you don't
Yes.
know. So in an ideal world, all of those people are dead. No, or in an ideal world, they're lovely people and they're actually maybe the mom or dad that you always wanted. Let's create that.
Let's create that. I got very blessed with my in-laws.
Mhm.
Like I said, my father-in-law passed. It was devastating. My mother-in-law, thank God, is still here and in good health. So I got very blessed with in-laws that felt like I know that I could go to her if I had an issue with her son and get an
Mm,
answer and get a straight answer, whether it was Taria, you may need to look at yourself, or Corey needs to look at
mm,
him. So I was very
mm.
blessed in that aspect. And I hope he would say the same for my parents, like that they feel
Well,
this.
let's ask him.
Yeah,
What
let me call him. Corey, what you
do
think?
you
I
think
know he's
about
gonna
your
watch this
mother-in-law?
back. You need to comment and say, yes, you got great in-laws. So my parents will call him.
Blink
Like if
twice, Corey, if you need help.
say that again. You said
Blink
blink
twice,
twice.
Corey, if you need help.
Listen, my dad will call him sometimes before he calls me, like if for certain things. So, I like that they have that relationship. So,
Own
yes,
relationship.
we're congratulating you, your financial independence, your relationship. We've talked about, we're not going to tell y'all yet because it hasn't happened, but we've already talked about how I've already planned his boyfriend reveal, kind of, sort of. So when y'all will know when y'all know. And there's
Yeah,
that.
'cause that boyfriend reveal will probably be a husband reveal because that'll be the time I'll be revealing anything.
Yes, yes. And listen, you don't have to worry. I know how y'all Tauruses move. I told you I have a Taurus daughter. And me and Corey were talking, and I said, Brooke and Kempire are like sky. Like the way y'all move, it's a real thing. Like y'all Tauruses, the way y'all are, it's an actual real thing. But I will say raising one is lovely. I will say that. It's very
Yeah,
lovely.
we're not gonna get you in trouble. Like we don't get in trouble. We're not
Yeah.
doing all kinds of craziness. So
Y'all
yeah, I
y'all
mean,
actually want to do things by the book.
yeah,
I'm like, you
exactly.
you can just
We're not getting caught up in no fraud scandal or arrests. I'm not
like
even being shady. I'm just saying, like, when I think
no.
about people getting arrested, I'm just like, oh, God forbid. That's why I would never, I was just talking about this. I would never celebrate someone going to jail. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
forbid.
Yeah. I took same thing. I outside of people who do really horrible things to people, like unalive or things, outside of that, it's like
Yeah.
I don't want somebody to go to jail for like a white cop. You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, jail.
I mean,
Like,
look, look, I'm not saying that I don't think they should go to jail.
yes, yes, yes.
I'm not celebrating it because I'm like,
Yes.
I don't want that to ever happen to me.
Because that karma can come back around.
Never misses, as Candace said in her recent podcast.
Hold up. You were to say, I was getting ready to bring that up. She made sure she's like, because she talked about Ashley celebrating, and I'm with her on that. I feel like Karma has already kicked Ashley's behind a little bit, but she needs to be kicked with them wigs she's wearing and that throat box that she's got.
Not
It's all
throat
right.
box.
Listen, I said she needs to use that to be a fitness instructor, not
I don't, why
to,
have we done that?
that's what, and she could go from, people would pay her. She could literally probably make money going from place to place, teaching a class. Ashley Darby from the Real Housewives of Potomac, here to teach yoga, here to teach this. I think she can make good money doing that.
Well, they try to do the athleisure. Here's the thing with the housewives. None of them are really willing to start a business from the ground up. They want to start a business that's already made and that's going to make them quick money. They're
Yes.
not really invested, i.e., the Wendy Asefo show on YouTube.
Come on.
Crickets.
Like that whole setup, like she could literally be flourishing over there right now.
Is
Claims
that even part
wouldn't
of her storyline this season?
at all. I'm saying at all. It's only been 3 episodes, but I feel like it probably won't be because I've been there, done that. It probably it's like you had a built-in platform. Just build on that. But like when they have these podcasts, it's so funny to me when they're like, "Oh, it's such hard work." You have someone sourcing your guests. Your advertisers are already there. What do you
Hmm.
mean? It's because you're doing
Producing
it for,
it, they got your studio space.
yes, it's a quick money grab. Like, but speaking of, well, this really doesn't transition money grab, but I want to get out of Bravo for a second. So before we got on the podcast, we were talking about, we made a comment talking about the leader of the free world. And I told you I was
Mm,
going to bring this up to you. So y'all know on the channel, I've told y'all, I do feel like we need to be involved and know what's going on. But
mm,
here lately, within the last year, talking about the things that are going on invokes such a rage that I've never
mm,
felt before that I have to be very careful because
mm,
I will understand, I'm keep it real, a violent protest because that's the rage, right? It's like, what do you do with all of that? But I
yeah.
do think we still need to be in tune. So I try to talk about some things. So I was listening to, shout out to Millie Chun TV. I was listening to Millie Chun and her brother was on, who used to work in the Biden administration. And he's also a
Mm,
lawyer. And he
mm,
brought up the White House and this ballroom. And he said, think of it like you having a home with an HOA. There's certain things
mm,
that you need to get approved.
mm,
He said, and he's building this as if he's not planning to leave. How many other presidents have done that? So then I was listening to you. And I think it was the lunchtime. I think it was a lunchtime live the other day you had that you said, you mentioned it briefly. Then you said, speaking of this, he's building this ballroom. Who is he building that for? Aren't there some requirements? Like, doesn't somebody have to approve that? And it's like he's not planning to leave. I've heard both of y'all say that on the same day, and that thought had never crossed my mind. So I'm thinking, people, we really need to really see what's happening behind what's happening. Ooh,
I'm not too worried about him. I'm not too worried about him leaving office because I think the dear Father above will be making that decision.
amen.
So I'm not
Amen.
too worried about him being there for the next 8, 10 years.
Yeah.
Somehow evil continues to reign on. But I'm not too worried about that. But my main concern in regards to them building this new, I like to call it dance hall, but it's not a ballroom. What in the Jamaican? This new dance hall that they're building. I'm like, what is, and I need to just look this up. What is the approval for you to be doing that? And also, recently he threatened that if Zoran Mondani, who's running for mayor
Hmm.
here in New York City, if he becomes mayor, he's withdrawing federal funds. How is that legal?
That's how is that
You're
legal?
weaponizing federal funds
Yeah.
that are given to you by taxpayers. That's illegal.
It's our money that is funding that, like, it's, yeah. Yeah.
You're giving billions of dollars to Israel. You're giving billions of dollars to yourself.
And what's the other one? Is it Argentina or is it what
Argentina, I saw that today as well in regards to Argentina. He's giving them money because it's a whole thing. There's a lot of stuff that's happening that
that's
people don't realize. Elections matter.
they matter. They definitely matter. And I
And election day is November 4th. Just an
yes.
FYI for those who don't realize. I mean, even your local elections
Hmm.
matter even more too for local protections against the federal government.
I voted, was it last year? And I said I need to make sure I research my candidates and make sure I do my due diligence in, even if, because people want to say, well, how can I get involved? At the base is voting and
Mm,
knowing who you're voting. And so if you feel like, oh, I haven't done this protest, I don't have a platform, your platform is your voice and your vote. So make sure you go out and vote,
yeah.
because it's,
And they had the No Kings protest last weekend and things like that across the country.
yeah.
Millions of people. I think they said like seven,
And
8 million people.
I'm upset because I don't know, like, again, I try to know on like what is happening, but sometimes I will tune out. And I didn't know, I don't know how I didn't know this, because that they were going to be in DC, because I would have went, because I'm telling Corey, I wish they were local because I would have went to the protest, even though Black women, we are resting, but this is something with my daughter being
Oh,
in DC right now. I would have
oh.
went, didn't even, but maybe that's what are we're resting and resisting. So maybe that was meant. I didn't need to be out.
Black women, you okay? If y'all don't go to another protest until
Yeah.
2028, you're fine.
Let them
Please
let
understand.
and that was a
The people
sign.
that need to be out there are the folks that we see that we're seeing out there and that
Yes.
are speaking. and using their privilege, rightfully so.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I said that was a sign. God was like, no, I'm not even going to allow you to see that because you don't even need to be there. Note it. You don't have to worry about me anymore. I'm a
Yeah.
again, what rest and resist at the same time. Y'all can have
Yep.
it. So we just really need to be aware. And I was listening to someone say now more than ever we need community. With the
Mm,
SNAP benefits and all of that, we really
mm,
need to get back to community and looking out for our neighbors and just making sure that we can do what we can within our community because it's going to take the
yeah.
communities to fight back in all of this stuff. And it just really made me make sure I'm more present, make sure I'm checking in on the people around me, just make sure I'm doing whatever it is that I can do to help someone along if I can. So
Yeah.
but we're protected. I heard a woman, and I know that we have empathy, but I have to be honest and say it's hard to have empathy for people sometimes when you know the way they voted, but now that it's
Mm,
affecting them.
mm,
And there was a woman and she's crying and she said she's pregnant. She's 7 or 8 months, and they're not sure if the baby is going to survive. That's already devastating. The issue
mm,
is, and there's probably women, so this is a bit of a trigger warning for any women who have been through the loss of a child. Just want to give a few
mm,
seconds in case you just want to fast forward by like 3 minutes. If the baby doesn't survive, you have to have she has to give birth. They have to,
mm.
um, oh my God, oh my gosh, my
Induce?
brain. Yes, my brain is like the have to induce labor. She still has to birth because I used to be friends with someone who had to go through that, because you have to
Mm,
get that out of you. And even if you had a
yeah.
miscarriage, even not that far along, but you still have to call it a D&C, which could also be called an abortion. So
Mm,
her doctor is telling her where she lives, that's considered a late term abortion.
mm.
So her life is on the line because they're not going to induce, because in their minds, inducing all of that is like inducing a baby that's not here. I forget how she described it, but basically, y'all know what I'm talking about. It would be like having a late term abortion. And she says in the camera, I just believe what they told me when he was running. They said a late term abortion is hospitals doing those after the baby is born. Ma'am,
Mm.
that would be unaliving, and that's common sense. Like, and if you didn't know, why wouldn't you research that? So while I get the
A
pain
lot
that
of people don't.
yeah, but it's like now you're in a position where your vote could cost you your life. And I don't think
Mm,
people understand that's where we're at. Our votes could literally, not voting could cost us our actual lives. So we have to participate. You can't just because I've seen so many people say, this is why I don't vote. This is why I don't. We have to be voices. We have to.
yeah.
So,
The crazy thing about that in regards to like the MAGA folks is that a lot of y'all are not even in the tax bracket that he's taking care of and looking out for. The
oh,
majority, the majority. And when we talk about DEI, again, and part of me doesn't blame them because they are given over and over again, and what we learned from the Jimmy Kimmel of it all in regards to the folks that own these stations that are literally saying the same exact thing because they're owned by these companies that
hmm
are MAGA induced. They're
hmm
being fed this information over and over again. So they believe it. The media here is exactly what we accuse North Korea's media of doing
yes, yes.
and propaganda and things like no, that's our media. And now that this particular administration is in office and is supported by all these tech billionaires,
hmm
all I see so much fake news. Even when in the world that we talk about, housewives and things in reality television, I see a lot of fake news now on Facebook more than ever
Yes,
before.
yes,
And they benefit from this because they benefit from the rage baiting. They benefit from the engagement. They benefit from
yeah.
us believing a certain thing. All these people are getting richer, and the people that voted for him are getting poorer. And they are feeling, some of them are feeling it now, but they don't
hmm
realize they're going to feel this for generations.
Wow. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. It's not just these 4 years. His
Yeah.
impact could have lasting consequences.
And all the things that they were mad about during the Biden administration, they actually were these were the effects of the 2016
Yes.
administration with Donald Trump. But people don't know that
Yes.
because They're watching Fox News and that's it.
Yeah, being in an echo chamber. And that goes to in our real lives. Even I had to learn, let's listen, when you do this or when you're having conversations, do you want to be right? Of course you want to be right. But the reality is no one is right 100% of the
Yeah.
time. And it's dangerous to only want to be around those who think like you because then you don't grow. How do you grow if you're around those who just think like you? So they're in this echo because I know someone who that's the channel it stays on. And it's like,
Ooh.
and none of it's even true. Like, how are you even like, yeah. So it's, and I've also learned to me not be enraged myself when you talk to these people or see these people. It's like, I feel sorry for you
Yeah.
because you have to be, I don't, I feel sorry for your way of thinking because
Mm.
again, it's going to cost you something one day,
Mm.
whether it's
And
you.
probably more you than anyone else than the people that you think that it's going to be affecting.
Yes. So there's that. It's just like so I just wanted to talk about that. And again, it
But
listening between listening to her, Millie Chun and her brother and listening to you, it's really got
mm,
me thinking and to like really pay attention also and be make sure that I'm as community oriented as I can possibly be. Whether
mm,
that's I saw a lady on Instagram and I meant to post it who she had resources for the state of Maryland. If you live in Maryland and you're furloughed, if y'all go to Instagram and type in state of Maryland resources, a woman has a video and she just lists all the resources that you can go to, food banks and different things the governor has put in place if
mm,
you're are working and not getting paid. And if you're just
mm.
you just need the help. So
That's
I'm
the
gonna
other
see if
element that people aren't talking enough about is that the government shut down,
it's
and it's
shut.
because of Republicans.
Yes.
They're in the majority here.
When you just recently traveled, when you traveled, did you see any videos in the airport about the shutdown and saying that it was the Democrats? Because I know it's in certain airports.
Well, the shutdown literally happened while I was in Europe, and when I came back, I didn't see anything, but I could tell because global entry, normally you'd be able to breeze through global entry,
Okay.
and noticeably, I was like, "What is this line for global entry?"
Wow.
And I was like, okay, maybe because they're short staffed. Because again,
Yeah.
while your elected officials, both Republicans and Democrats, they're getting paid, while these government workers are not getting paid.
Yeah.
That should be a law that they, but of course, they're not going to pass that on either
Yes.
side.
Yeah.
And although I've come hard on the Republicans, Democrats, you're not innocent either. And the mayor election here in New York is just a reminder of that because some of y'all, Hakeem Jeffries, who I saw in the airport when I came for the Empire After Dark live from DC show, I saw him in the airport. You're not innocent. I don't think he's even endorsed Zoran. Zoran went through a Democratic primary and won.
Oh.
Won. And Andrew Cuomo is now running as an independent.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Hakeem Jeffries has not endorsed the mayoral candidate.
That's
And Kamala,
crazy.
and this might ruffle little feathers, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I'm gonna say it.
Say it.
And Kamala, when she was asked about this on Maddow,
Hmm.
your response was less than stellar in
What's
regards
it?
to. I can't remember her exact words because it's been a couple of weeks because she was
Mhm.
promoting her book. But it wasn't really endorsing the candidate. She was like, "Oh, well, we have a bunch of really great candidates."
This is not the time for that. We have to be, this is not,
But
you
that's
have to
why she
be,
lost the election too.
this is not the time. Like you have to use your voice and stand 10 toes down in what we believe in.
So the Democrats
Wow.
are not innocent here in regards to how things are going currently in our political climate, especially
Yeah.
when we talk about what's happening over there, the genocide that's happening in Palestine.
Yes.
So they're not innocent. They're
No,
not.
no. I was listening to someone else and she was like, I am really upset with the Democrat. Like, it's enough of this taking the high road. Like, we, something has to be done. Like, you can't just, so that's our
Yeah.
political corner today, y'all.
They're gonna be mad about it too. Stay mad
They mad.
because
It is.
what we're saying is directly affecting you. That's mad in the comments.
Yeah.
Go unless you're a millionaire, it's
Yeah.
directly affecting you.
And if you're mad, channel that energy to go do something to make it
Hmm.
better. I promise you,
Oh,
you feel
November
better when you,
4th.
Yes, vote November 4th and do something to help somebody. I promise you, you'll feel better when you help
Early voting
somebody.
starts this weekend. At least if early voting happens in your state, it starts this weekend. At least it's starting this weekend in New York. I will
Oh,
be voting early.
I'm gonna have to see when ours is. Okay, because I
Yeah,
did that last year too. I did early voting.
I prefer it.
Yeah, because I get in, get out, and I don't want to see people, and I'm not showing up with their pins for like I didn't. I don't even want to see all that. Let me just
And
get
your
in
job has to allow you the time. So if you can't go before, your job has to allow you the time on November 4th to go vote.
in case I
Just
didn't
saying.
know that. So okay, thank you for that. See, this is why we have a political corner today. Somebody needed to hear that. Now,
Sidebar.
speak.
Look, I'm not done. Look,
Okay, come on, bring it.
although Kamala, you did not have enough time to really have a fair election. So I do want to preface that. So I'm not
Yeah,
completely against Kamala and why she lost.
yeah,
But part of that was also because Biden and his ego, because everyone wants to make the white man the saint. But no, he should have dropped out. We should have had a Democratic primary
yeah,
so that the Democratic Party, the American people, could have voted for who they wanted to represent that. And it could have been Kamala, but
yeah.
we don't know.
We
Y'all
don't know.
decided to wait 3 months before and gave this black woman 3 months. Even in 3 months, though, she broke all kinds of records.
She did
Just
raising money
saying.
and all of that. And it's just what was disheartening for me? Why did I just get a notification? One of your video, one of your videos. um,
Oh, notifications
literally,
need to do better. You two, I posted that like 2 hours ago.
it said it's Candace Lamb's Ashley Darby's reaction.
I did that posted like 3 hours. What's
Yeah.
going on with YouTube notifications?
You know
Come on
what?
now.
That's a good point because it literally just came through. I just got it. But
Shame.
even with that, I still feel like there were, and I'm gonna say it, a lot of black men and men in
Mm.
general that weren't ready for a woman leader.
Oh my
So
gosh.
they don't like him, but they're not ready. It was disappointing the amount of black churches
Mm.
that wouldn't vote for Hillary or said my I literally saw my congregation is not voting for Hillary. My congregation is not voting for Kamala because it's biblical. And
Oh my God.
it's like
Mind you, if you look at their resumes, they are overqualified in
over.
comparison to the presidents that we've had
Yes.
and the candidates that were running. They are overqualified.
Yeah.
And which is so crazy to me because there are other parts of the world that have had amazing, amazing women leaders
Mhm.
that currently have amazing women leaders. And I always say this, it will always be interesting to see if whether or not America is more racist than they are sexist. Clearly, they are more sexist than anything.
Mm. Wow.
Clearly. They're afraid of what a woman can do. I look forward to the day when we can see a woman lead this country. I think we're going to see a dramatic shift
Wow.
in the culture of this country, but which is part of the reason why they don't want it to happen.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And I think it's laughable how they feel like because women are too emotional. Look at the current administration. Nothing but I'm firing Democrats. Like, come on.
Mm-mm,
Pardoning George Santos because he had the courage to vote Republican.
mm-mm,
Like
mm.
it's insane to me that people still support this man. Even if you support, I'm still looking at you crazy. But the people that are still 10 toes down, when you talk about the people that support him that are not even in the tax bracket, I did a grocery delivery yesterday. And if you could
To
have
Carroll
seen,
County.
I'll be there November 7th.
Ooh.
Might do a couple of rides there too. I will be there November
Mm.
7th. Unless, well, wait, I'll tell you. Okay, because we're getting ready to get into that next. If you could have seen, and let's be clear, I'm not judging nobody's house, the way they live. If we have a roof over our head, we are blessed, period, no matter what. I'm gonna tell you though, their mailbox, they had like a wall, like a fake like wall built, Trump stickers all over it, Vance, make
Oh,
America
Lord.
great again, get America back. If you could have seen the home, and I said, he wouldn't even spit on you if you were on fire.
Mm-mm.
The area where I delivered, like it
Yeah.
almost reminded me of Sanford and Son, the junkyard, like outside. That's
Yeah.
what it was
Oh,
looking like. He wouldn't even deem you with a glance.
no,
And this is and I find that so funny. It's like he doesn't even care about you, like
no.
at all. So
Yeah.
I just had to,
He's only about lining his own pockets.
yeah,
And that's what
yeah.
he's been doing. He's
It,
prioritized federal funding for your state. There are a lot of states that other states are supporting with their tax dollars.
Mhm.
He's decided to he now he's asking the DOJ to give him 200
Y-
something million
yes,
dollars for his personal self. Excuse me?
yes.
And who exactly is paying for the White House demolition and
That's
building of the dance hall, as I like to call it? Who's paying for that?
yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you right now, the ancestors who built that White House are all in that situation right now. I wish them luck with that.
When you said, oops, when you, I got excited, excited, excited. I literally, I was in my car yesterday. I was pulling up to the gym and I literally said out loud, may the spirit of the ancestors of Lake Lanier
Mm.
travel over to the White House.
There doesn't need to be the
Oh, you
Lake
know what?
Lanier
Yeah, because we have our own
because,
there.
like I said,
You're right.
exactly, the ancestors built that. That's why America is so rich. They had slavery for hundreds of years,
Yeah,
free labor.
yeah, yeah. You're
Okay,
right.
so stole land from the native people. This is why America is rich. It's been built off of that, and the White House was built by
By
slaves.
slaves. Yeah, people don't. Yeah, there are people that don't know that,
They
but
were
yeah.
rejoicing when Obama got elected. I know Obama had a good old time in that White House.
Listen, I
They
know they
were
was hot, slap fiving and everything. Congratulations.
just saying, right? Amazing.
Yes,
I
they.
wonder if they would ever talk about if they had any sort of like weird haunted issues,
Oh
things that happened in the White
yeah.
House.
That
Is
would
there a
really
book about
be
that? There probably is.
that would really be interesting to know. I think back to that moment often. I had fallen
Mm,
asleep and Corey came upstairs and he woke me up and he was so excited. He said, "We have a black president."
mm,
And then watching Oprah weep,
mm.
watching older black people so
Oh,
overcome with emotion. I remember the feeling of the world. It was a feeling of hope, and he ran off of
yeah,
hope. And
yeah.
now in 2016, when Trump won, me and Corey went to Atlanta for his birthday, a birthday trip. And I love it will never I will never tire of seeing it. And it might be open now, but it was closed when we went again a couple years ago. I love going to the church that Martin Luther King went to and all this stuff, right?
Mm,
So him and I are in a hotel. And I had called before I went and I was like, it's my husband's birthday and I wanted to know if we could be bumped up to a different room. That we stayed at the W at the time. It was really nice. And they were like, "Oh, let's see what we can do." They put us on the penthouse floor, gave us access to the penthouse where you had to have a coat for breakfast. Yeah. And what's crazy in there, the
wow.
woman that worked in there, the women were Mexican. And every morning I'd be like, "Good morning," just normal stuff. And a lady like the second day stopped me and said, "Thank you. People act like I'm not here. So thank you."
Mm,
Just so we're having this conversation, we're sitting down, the TV is on, and it's when President Obama had to meet with Trump. Like I don't
mm,
know if it was for the transference of power or whatever it was. It was so heavy. So then me and Corey go and we go to the Martin Luther King, the church, and I could like literally. I just remember I sat down on the bench, and I remember wanting to cry because what was going on with Trump, and now I'm hearing Martin Luther King's voice through those speakers. And it was just so
mm,
emotional because it was like, this is like a dichotomy of life right now. And a
mm.
gentleman comes in, I was like, and I'm just feeling emotional. And he's like, you're sitting exactly where Coretta was sitting at the funeral.
Whoa.
It was
I can see the
so,
picture in my head.
yeah, it was so, the feeling was so heavy. I felt like that, like something was just like on me. And when he
Mm,
said that, it made sense. And it was just like, this is so crazy. And then now here we are. And I literally was walking in the house yesterday saying, how did they allow him back again? And I know I said I was going to move on, but it's just how? How?
mm. I
Racism
mean,
and
I'm hopeful.
sexism.
Look, I'm hopeful that everything always finds balance. Or when we're talking about
Yes.
finding balance ourselves, I feel like the universe always finds balance any way that it can. We
Yeah.
saw that with the pandemic. We literally saw the planet find balance in regards to everything that was off balance in regards to our
Yes.
environment, when it comes to people.
Mm,
We found balance. So I
yeah.
do suspect that we are going to find balance at some particular point. We just
Yes.
have to hold out hope.
Yes. And in the words of Giselle, sometimes you got to go through the bad to get to the good.
Not the words of Giselle. What are we doing right now? Lord, I guess what every once in a while Giselle has a word. She was a preacher's wife.
She was a preacher's wife, so broken clock. Yeah, every once in a while she has a word. So speaking
First
of
lady. I mean, she's been telling all kinds of truth this season. She's been
hasn't
telling.
she? I said she coming back to redeem herself, and she's been telling all kinds of truth. I like lies and foolishness. She's been telling all kinds of truth.
And I like making up stories.
I don't have
She's
to
like, I
lie
don't I don't
anymore.
make up any, yeah, I don't have to make up any stories anymore.
I said,
And she
right, I
is.
said, can we roll back? Because I know everybody's laughing at that, but can we really
I
get
hope
into what?
someone, when they send a question to Andy, that they bring up those two examples, and I want to hear what she has to say.
Yeah,
I know it's
because
very political, but
like, ma'am. But before we get into the Potomac of it all, but let's get into what's happening in Potomac. So, as everyone knows, Wendy Osefo is now saying she was arrested illegally. I talked about it yesterday on YouTube, and I was reading her filings, of course, and I got it from Us Weekly, and it said that she was severing her and the co-defendant. In my mind, and I guess because of where I was at, I don't even know what I was thinking. I took that to mean, oh, and she wants his to be dismissed too. It wasn't until I heard somebody else talk about it to say she's distancing
Mhm.
herself from it.
Well, maybe. I had two attorneys calling when I covered this story, and they were both. One was surprised because she was like, You're facing similar charges," and
Okay.
she gave different ideas as to why she might want to do that and why it didn't make sense. And then I had another attorney say that, well, maybe it makes a lot of sense in regards to their legal strategy.
Mm,
So there could be some of that there in
yeah.
regards to a legal strategy, and maybe it will work out for them. But it's hard to tell because at this particular point, Eddie Acefo has not revealed who is representing him. A lot of
Yes.
people are speculating he's going to represent himself. Any attorney will tell you not to represent yourself in a criminal case like this. Like that would not be good for him.
Yeah.
I don't
And
think that he is.
he was a lawyer, but wasn't he a tax lawyer or something like
I
that?
Something like that. It's definitely not criminal.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Like, I don't, so it, again, not celebrating people going to jail. And I'm not celebrating people not being held to the consequences of their actions. I put myself in a position like, I don't think I would ever do that. However, there's certain things before it, and it was like, that's kind of tempting, not insurance fraud. Let's be clear.
we tell it on yourself, Taria.
Listen,
Edit this out. No.
right? Not insurance fraud, but like, and I think, man, okay, I don't know what their financial status was, but when the reports came out, it said they were significantly, basically financially stressed. What would I do for my family? If I found
Mm,
myself in a situation where I felt like I was going to lose everything and did something like that, I would know that yes, I have to reap the consequences of my actions, but also I would want grace. And
mm,
grace comes, what is it? Grace, either grace or mercy. One of those is getting it when you don't deserve it. So I would want
mm.
that. So there's a part of me that's like, was this a lifestyle of if they did this allegedly, or was it just like a big, huge, not lapse in judgment? Because it's not a lapse in judgment. You made the decision to do it.
Two adults,
To
two
adults.
educated.
To, right. So it's like, what was going on to put you here? Like, I mean, bankruptcy was an option. Be clear
But you have to think about the other side of this. And I was listening to Cynthia Bailey and Crystal Kominkoff on their podcast talk about the
that you
pressures
were
of some of these
on. Shout out to Kempire
that I
on Humble
a
Brag.
couple
Look, go ahead
um
and humbly brag.
humbly brag. I was on there a couple weeks ago. The video is doing very well. So go ahead and go watch it again if you haven't seen it. Um, but them talking as former housewives, talking about how, there is this pressure from the world. They didn't say production, but I'll add production
Mhm.
to live a certain lifestyle. I can't imagine that Wendy and Eddie would file for bankruptcy because they know that would be the headline.
Well, I was going to say, I talked about that too. I said, while bankruptcy would be good, they wouldn't want that's searchable. So they wouldn't do
Mhm.
that because they would be embarrassed or what have you. Too
But
much
look,
pride.
where are we now?
I would rather people know, yep, I got into it. I did. But listen, because I would have came at the bankruptcy from the angle of I'm protecting my money. Like
Hmm.
I got so many
Our president has
liabilities.
so many bankruptcies.
Say that again.
Our
Oh,
president has so many bankruptcies.
I worked with a woman. She was a vice president of the company I used to work for, and she said my brother-in-law does every like time he can, and in between that time, he buys his boats, his cars, his homes, racks up his credit. And she said that was his system of doing things. And I think it's interesting because the black community has been taught bankruptcy is bad, it's negative, it's this, and white people use it like, oh, I'm protecting I'm not gonna spend all my money on this on these bills that I racked up.
Yep.
So it's just
I
interesting
think
how.
we lack, and that's intentional. That's systematic racism
Mhm.
in regards to financial literacy. I
Yeah,
think now we are starting to learn like, oh, so credit isn't bad. Having, buy if you even though you have cash in the bank doesn't mean that you should necessarily use that cash. You should be using the available credit. You like there's just so much. Oh,
yep.
renting isn't that bad. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have to buy a place, or I can never buy.
Come
People,
on.
I love in the I love the fact that there are so many now content creators that talk about finances, like your rich
Hmm.
BFF. I love her. That are teaching Black people, people of color, about finances and how the rich remain rich and get
Yeah,
richer
yeah,
and start investing now.
yeah.
So
And
I
I
think that's what
tell,
and systematic racism in
look,
regards
for
to not allowing us that information.
right, because we're not taught that. Like I feel like in schools, you should be taught, well, back when they don't even use them now, but back growing up, we should have been taught how to use a checkbook, how to balance a checkbook. My mom, who's worked in like school system ish, like Board of Educations and stuff, I think it was my mom that told me those things were taught, at least where we were from, in like classes, like special, what they called special education back then. Those things were taught there. So it's like, well, who did you
Mm.
think were teaching
Yeah, I
the
did
other
have a
people?
class in high I did have a class in high school. I forgot what it was called. I had a class in high school where they talked about balancing your checkbook, how you should fill out a checkbook.
See,
That I
we
forgot what it
didn't
was called.
we didn't have any. Was it economics? No. That was
Oh,
it
it was
home
called
economic?
something.
No.
I forgot what it was called. It was like a weird name. Like they created it themselves.
Okay. Okay. And see, we didn't
And
have
I just
that.
remember it was like and to me it was like an easy class. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like I didn't expect that we would be learning this in class. But I also went to a Catholic high school, so then there's
Okay. So,
that.
yeah, that's different. I gave when my kids were um in the entertainment industry, they were getting checks, booking these jobs. I gave my son a checkbook and told him how to
Mm.
do it. He was like 11 or 12 and he would keep his receipts and he was like, "Do I need to keep these for tax purposes?" So I wanted to teach because my dad always said he wished he had taught us more. But again, our parents are use the tools they have and they just add more along the way. He taught me so much more, him and my so much more and then you'd give that to your kids and more. So I
Do
just
you
would
balance a checkbook?
I don't now, no. I don't even write them.
Me either. I remember I used to though, like in my 20s, I used to be balanced. I was like, this is annoying.
Oh,
But I also
see.
have a company and I have like accountants and I
So
have
yes,
a bookkeeper now. So I'm like the bookkeeper's balancing all that. I mean, I still have work to do. Matter of fact, I got work to. But that's how I'm balancing my checkbook
your
is that
checkbook
way.
now through that. Yeah. I don't remember the last time I wrote a check. Now I think about now, I used to have to order checks all the time. Like now it's
Every
like,
once in a while you
what?
need one though.
Hmm.
Every once in a while you need one.
Yeah, that you know what? That's
And then
true.
you're
And
like, where the hell is my checkbook?
I keep mine in a special place. I know exactly where they are. So like
I mean, I have some in here in my little drawer in the studio, but that's
send me
about
one.
it.
Nah, just cash at me.
For
Send me a
what?
check just cause. Be community oriented.
Oh, Lord.
But with it would be interesting to see how this comes about with Wendy because I immediately thought about Karen and how she tried the same strategy. It may work out
Mm,
differently for Wendy, but I will say this. Everything right now is alleged. I mean, well, the charges aren't alleged. They are what they are, but we don't know
yeah.
100%. Did she? Did we have I mean, is it looking like it? Let's keep it real. Yeah, it's looking like it. However, I said no matter what, I if the charges were dropped against Wendy and even against Eddie, there would still always be that cast over that, like with some people, like still because of all the evidence that we were presented.
Yeah.
So
I think
that's
I think in regards to, I mean, yeah, the charges are there, but there are allegations against them.
mhm.
And even with what we saw with Karen, I think people need to understand what we're seeing is procedural. This is what any defense attorney is going
Yes.
to. So that's why when you see what Karen's lawyers did and what you're seeing what Wendy's lawyer is doing, this is what they do.
Hmm.
This is their right, and they have to ask for it now. They can't wait until things start moving, and
Yeah.
they no longer have the right to ask for some of these things. And they're preparing their case against Wendy. So that's why they're asking for, were there informants, were there
Hmm.
documents? What stood out to me though,
I know what you're going to say.
the admission statements and
Boom.
confessions.
Boom. That's
They
what
want that removed. What exactly were Happy Eddie and Wendy saying during the arrest?
when
But
I saw that,
maybe they didn't say anything and they just want to cover themselves.
yeah, maybe. But
I don't know, but I thought
when I saw that language, I said,
admissions,
yeah.
statements,
Like,
confessions.
did y'all usher them? These are my confessions. Like,
They did look high. They did look high.
just like her tagline.
Hey,
Whew. Oh my
I put the
gosh.
high in higher education.
I just didn't like that. I don't like that look for her. I didn't
No.
like, I mean, weed is legal. I don't begrudge anybody anything. Sometimes I want a gummy, or actually, I don't partake. That was back in college days. But if I did, there's something about this new generation that doesn't appreciate the act of doing something. I want the full experience. I just don't want a gummy.
Mm.
I like to experience the fullness of all of it, and I'll leave it there. But it's been, how old am I? 48. It's been about, it's been like 31 years. Wow. And it's changed since then. So I'd be scared to,
What's in it?
yeah, I tell my kids that now. What I smell on these streets is not what we used to do growing up. Don't
Mm.
do it because you don't know.
Mm.
It does not smell the same. It smells very
Yeah, I'm not
different.
trying to do any of that. I mean, I don't judge because I know that there are all kinds of health
Oh
benefits
yeah.
for some of that stuff. Some people just need it for maybe anxiety or whatever, or they just like getting high. It's not for me, especially those that smoke it. I'm like, it's not for me. I can't. I can't stand the smell. The
Yeah.
smell makes me have a headache. So I'm just like, no,
My
it's not for
son,
me.
he told me last year, he said, yeah, my friends do it and they've done different things. However, I don't like the thought of not being in control of myself. So I don't
Mm,
have a problem saying no because it's about me
yeah,
being in control of myself.
I
And I
agree.
appreciated that. I was like, yeah, I agree. So I wish it's hard. I wish Eddie and Wendy the best, and I'm still rooting for their family. This is just so unfortunate because for me there's so many mixed feelings like going
Mm.
on. And I will say this: I know you saw what Ebony K. Williams said on Carlos King's podcast, and she was very much like they were targeted because they were black. Da da da. And I felt like I don't think because of where they live, it's almost 90% white, 3% black, 2% Asian. I had a family. I don't know if I told you. I think I might have told you. I had a family member who lived in that area.
Oh
He
no.
is black. His wife was white at the time. Two young girls,
Mm,
and they were in
mm,
an argument. This was years ago, but his one of his daughters got into an argument with one of her friends, and you're little and you're going back and forth. That's why you're this. That's why you're that. And her
mm.
friend came back and said, "That's why your dad is black." That was the insult, and that's Carroll County. Yeah.
A
So
lot of because a lot of people that live down there that know Carroll County. I
yeah,
had no idea that it was largely MAGA.
yeah,
I had no idea that it was largely white.
yeah.
I was just like, oh,
And so
okay.
when Ebony was saying that, my thought is they weren't targeted because they're black,
Mhm.
but it's not
But
going to
now,
help them that they're black.
especially when you're trying to find a jury of your peers.
Right. So they were targeted because or they were arrested because from what the looks of things, it looks like fraud was committed. Because you are
Yeah.
black people committing this, it's not going to help you at all. The
And
only,
my thing in regards to this was if they did this,
Mhm.
this was all around dumb. Like everything,
That's
every detail that we found out about whatever the crime was, all around. And now it's even dumber. You did this in your county that's largely white and MAGA, and you have been openly criticizing the man that they wanted in the office. This is not going to end well for you
At
if you do
all.
what they said.
Yes. And we know when your neighbors knew
All for
that you
like 20 something thousand dollars that they received. They didn't get the 400 and something thousand. They only
that
got 20 something thousand.
I
For
literally
20,
said, okay, because I literally said yesterday, how much of that, we know they said what their claim was. How much of that did they actually get though? So it was only the money for the ring.
yeah.
That's not even
That
worth
was
it. Like,
not for, because here's the thing too, and shout out to my community because there's so many people from so many different backgrounds, from legal to people that work in insurance. They said even if they say they're cleared of the charge and thing, it still could affect them in regards to their homeowners insurance. And if they're convicted, it could still affect their homeowners insurance in regards to actually holding homeowners insurance. And I'm just like, was this worth it for 20 something thousand dollars? You make more from
right,
Real Housewives of Potomac.
right. Oh
Was it?
my gosh.
This is why I wish them the best in regards to this. I
Yeah.
look forward to what their legal defense will be, but based off the evidence, and I confirmed this last night when I was talking with an attorney about this. I said, what we know so far, I'm pretty sure that the prosecution has a lot more. They just have not released that, and they confirmed it. Like, yeah, they probably have a whole lot more. They just have not even mentioned yet against the
Yes.
SFO.
It's like they're not going to reveal their hand completely.
Yeah. Not yet, not
Well,
until trial.
I will be sure to pull over after I leave that courthouse on November 7th and give you an exclusive,
Mhm.
emergency breakthrough
I was
exclusive.
already going to ask. I was going to, can we hire you as a reporter for a Empire Channel? Look,
Sure
come on
can.
now.
I've let
Reporting
everybody
live.
look, I've let everybody know it's the hour away. I will need my daily rate that I make doing other things.
How
So if
much
y'all want to
was it
cash
you
up $10, $20. But you know what's funny, Dan? You remember Dan? Shout out to my boo Dan that you met at BravoCon.
Yes,
Why
yes,
did
yes.
why did he send me $20 on buy me a coffee saying, is this enough for gas? Because I need you to go.
I mean, don't say, people don't realize though, like we're independent contractors, we're
For real.
independent creators. Look, we were, and when people complain about ads and things, I was like, y'all, if we had no ads, we would not get paid.
No,
And
at
we're
all.
not getting 100% of those ad revenues. We're splitting this with Google and our podcast collaborator, like
Yep.
all that's split.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and it's
So
not as much as I think it is.
if y'all want to help a sister out, don't even do a super chat because that won't come through until the next month. You can do Cash App.
And you only get what? I don't know how much percent it is anymore.
I
Like,
don't. I just know I was like when I first like got one before, and I was like, oh, what I actually got. I was like, oh,
yeah.
okay. Still learning about all of that. So, but
That's
we
why it's
shall
better
see.
to. I need to start telling people if you want to support me, send it directly to my Venmo, my Cash App, my Zelle.
Yes.
Send it
Look,
there.
almost like have you ever been to a place when they say they prefer cash tips? I get why. Like you
Yeah.
because there are yours or whatever. So while we're
Government,
empty,
but I'm telling you to send it to our Venmo that we have to report to the IRS.
yes.
Cash. You see me in person.
Yeah,
I
okay.
do have a subscriber that says we cash every like for my birthday and stuff like that. I'm like, you sent this in the mail.
Oh, people still send cash in the mail?
Yeah, I don't know if you're supposed to, but she always sends it to your mail. This one
That's
particular
nice.
subscriber, but I
That's
appreciate it. I was
really
like, oh,
nice.
I don't expect it. So I'm like, she sent me cash.
That's because I remember back in the day, my uncle who lives in Georgia would send me $10 every single year for my birthday, and I think it stopped at like 16, and I told him he owes me like 30 years worth of $10 a year or whatever. I was the
Mm.
first grandchild, and listen, I had my mom and then three uncles, and then one uncle. I just my two of my uncles were what like one was in college in Georgia, then my other uncle was in the Navy, but then he was in Philly. So I was, you know, I was the baby. Hello. So one year,
Mm,
this is so
mm,
funny. One year, our family tried this thing because there were so many nieces and nephews. Instead of buying for every single niece and nephew, the aunts and uncles were going to draw a name, right? And that's the one you bought for. Except everybody still bought one for me. I said,
right.
I, I laid the blueprint, okay, the groundwork for all of y'all behind me, okay. I
Now
am
they get all get one gift.
Look, I'm Michael. All the other cousins are the Jackson Five.
Oh wow. I can't wait for them to see this.
They're gonna be like, she's right.
And that's how we're treated.
This no, grandmom and pop pop loved y'all equally. Anyway, Potomac. We're only 3 episodes in. I know people like to say, "Oh, it's a great season." It's this. I'm learning to take it episode by episode. I have to
Yeah.
say, I'm enjoying it. And I really, something about this episode reminded me of old school Housewives a little bit, where the fights were so stupid, but they felt safe. I was not going to hear
Mm.
about someone's husband. I was not going to see someone get split in the head with a bottle. It really felt safe. These arguments felt, even though that was brought
Oh,
up,
even with Kiana there, no, I'm playing.
I'm gonna. I
I'm
think
joking, Kiana.
no, but I think the Kiana that we're seeing is actually her. And I don't know. I just think we're seeing Kiana.
I
And
don't
I
know
feel,
what we're saying.
well, I feel like Kiana wants to feel like she runs the girls. Like when she was sitting at the head of that table,
Mm,
either that or somebody put a bit of a battery in her
mm,
back to make her feel like she runs the girl. Because with her and Giselle's relationship, Giselle last season, no, the season before when Kiana came as a friend of, said she's known Kiana and she's liked her since she was friends with Cal. Kiana this
mhm.
season is saying her relationship with Giselle has grown. But when Wendy and Kiana had that back and forth, you don't like her, no, you don't
Yeah.
like her, that let me know y'all had a conversation about Giselle.
Right? That's what I thought. I was like, so why would Wendy say that you don't like her? She's like, you don't like her. I'm like, what? What does Wendy know?
Yeah.
I
And
need
that
them
and
to expand on that.
and I feel like when Kiana used chin check, she was trying to impress Giselle a little bit. And now it's kind of like
Mhm.
started this ripple thing. But and I don't mind this argument because again, this argument felt safe to me. There was going to be no
Mm,
isms, no phobias. Can we
mm.
just no microaggressions? Even though I said, Kiana, who used a microaggression against you? Did you mean passive aggressive?
Not hearing words. I'm still on Europe cities.
That's why I said we're seeing the real Kiana.
You
That's what I meant.
can't
But
help but be the. I'm disappointed in Kiara
me
because it feels
too.
like a lot of y'all, look, a lot of y'all were like, Kiana, give her a flute, give her a
Because she
flute.
was
And
pretty.
she's
That's what that was.
That's exactly pretty privilege. And she's a beautiful woman. That's why I
Yeah.
call her Kiana beautiful gown steward. That's it. Beautiful condo too. Gorgeous. She has
Yes.
impeccable taste.
Yeah.
But I can watch you on Instagram. I don't need to watch you on Real Housewives of Potomac.
And
I won't be
I
watching either though, but yeah.
I was gonna say you are not like in my mind. I was thinking like you are not watching her, but
No.
I just because her to me, I'm gonna move Wendy aside for a minute. But her well before we get into the episode a little bit, what are your thoughts overall? 3 episodes in, how are you feeling after you watch it? You know, the past couple of years watching it, I felt like, ugh. I'm glad real issues are being discussed, but some of the things between Candace's husband and then Wendy, and then you had the Giselle and Robin of it all, and just different things, I walked away like, I'm watching because it's Housewives, but this is not really fun. How are you feeling after these 3 episodes?
That's a good question because I never really thought about it. I'm not hating it.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily also looking forward to it every week, kind
Okay.
of thing. Just
Makes
because it
sense.
also feels like some of the fights that they're having, I'm just like, is there any meat to it? Yes. There's no like no lives are going to be dramatically affected, but also there's no meat to it because I'm like, okay, Kieran, what is really your issue with Wendy?
That's,
What is your issue? And let's unpack your issues with your friend Angel that you chin checked in front of all of us.
ooh,
But and based on what I've heard from deep sources over there in the Potomac streets, Ashley and Giselle felt like they had to work overtime this season to make it a good season because they really felt the absence of Karen Huger.
wow.
That's what I heard.
I
And I think
believe it.
that's what I'm sensing from these first 3 episodes. I'm like, I could see Giselle and Ashley working overtime, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I'm just like, yeah, none of these girls are necessarily bringing it. I do like the newbies, and I want to give them grace because it's their first season.
Yeah.
Especially this week, I don't know if you've seen the preview where Tia and Ashley get into it. I
Yes,
was like,
ma'am.
wait a minute, Tia,
Yes.
Wait a minute, Tia. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Get Ashley together.
Come on.
Get her together.
The only person in the past that could make Ashley literally gag was Candace. Like that's the only one.
I want
So
Candace to come back now. I want her to come back. I think Wendy's going to need Candace next season.
yeah. But
I think she's gonna need her.
there were parts of me in this episode when I started watching like Giselle's facials and her interactions with Wendy. And I went back to season 5. I think season 5, because there's a lot of discussion on Wendy's change, Wendy this, which I do agree with that. But when I think about Wendy being 8 weeks postpartum, hormones are like
Mm.
this, not feeling, she's 8 weeks, no matter how small. When I had my son, my middle son, I'll never forget, me and Corey went out, like when he was like a month old, we went to a party. And some man,
Mm.
a guy turns to Corey and says, "What program do you have her on? I can't even tell she has a baby." I said, "First of all, Boop, don't do that. He has me on no program." Yeah. But so I say that even though I was back to my size, I still didn't quite feel confident. Boobs engorged. I'm still, stomach still not looking the way, like I still felt overall like a baby just came out of me a
Hmm.
month or so ago. And
Yeah.
so then I think about Wendy having to be in front of cameras, hormones
For the first,
everywhere, still
she's never done
breastfeeding.
it.
Yeah, never done this before. And then I think about, I don't think that has Wendy changed or we never got to know Wendy. Season 5, the fight took over everything. We didn't even get to know Wendy. And when they were at Monique's lake house and Wendy and Giselle went on that walk and they were talking, I felt like there could have been something there. They're sorors. I felt like the interactions that we did see were very positive with them. And then we learned later that Robin and Wendy bonded off camera, but I felt like Wendy had something with Giselle. Even when season 6 came, we still couldn't really get to know Wendy because we're dealing with the fallout with the one cast member that's back, Candace, and how the other ladies are responding to her. So when did we
Hmm.
really get Wendy? When Wendy says Dr. Wendy to you, to you, sweetie, to Ashley, I didn't care because Ashley was coming for her neck. So it's like, oh, Giselle can flex her pretty and nobody has a problem when she talks about how
Mm.
gorgeous she is. So why can't Wendy flex her Dr. Wendy to you, sweetie? But I just feel like we never really even had a chance to get to know who we thought Wendy was. And then by
Yeah. And
the
Wendy
third,
too. I think Wendy was also trying to find herself as well.
yes, because I do believe here she comes on this show. And even if she watched Atlanta before, other than Portia pulling Kenya off a couch, have they really been fight? Like this was a fight. So here you come on thinking, I'm Potomac. They packaged themselves as not Atlanta.
Hmm.
And I'm a professor and I'm a political commentator and they're fighting. Like I didn't think this was gonna be it. So back to this season, I'm watching Giselle and I'm watching her face when Wendy comes in and when they were shopping. And she's like, "Oh, I didn't know I was gonna see legs rubbing on her." And then I watched the scene when Wendy came in to Kiana's house and Giselle's just sitting there. And it honestly looked, and I could be giving her too much, y'all, but it looked like her face lit up. And she's like, "Wendy." And so I said, maybe she does actually like her because I felt like last season was forced and it was fake, but I
Hmm.
don't know. Like, are you
Maybe. I,
getting,
I mean, I've heard that basically Giselle's job was on the line for her to get along with
well,
Wendy.
then there's, well, then,
I think we all knew that.
yeah, we knew,
I don't
yeah.
think Giselle hates Wendy, but I also don't think she wants to be Wendy's friend.
Okay.
It will be interesting to see how Giselle handles the Wendy of it all
Mhm.
going forward. Um, because you just never know with Giselle.
Yeah. And
Giselle might stay in line and be like, "Well, these are allegations. We're going to wait and see," or she could ride the Ashley train and be like, "We already knew," because she was there that night that Ashley was saying that stuff too.
yes, I think it says a lot that we haven't heard anything come out of from the Reasonably Shady podcast about it.
I'm surprised. Are they on hiatus? I don't listen to the podcast.
Me neither. Me neither.
So I wouldn't know. I only know because someone will post on social
Same.
media, oh, what they said. I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm thinking they're still on because I've seen people on social, when the news broke, I saw various comments on different posts. I can't wait to tune in to Reasonably Shady. I can't wait next week to see what they're going to say. And since they haven't said anything, I think that said a lot. That says a lot.
I'm wondering
Were they
because I
told
already
not
kind
to?
of know what's happening behind the scenes and how
Gotcha.
people feel. People don't like Wendy. They don't. On this cast, they don't like Wendy. So I wasn't completely shocked. I was just shocked that she didn't have the coof to be a little bit more tasteful,
Hmm.
Ashley. So I'm not completely shocked that basically she was speaking what people have been saying behind the scenes. They don't like Wendy.
Let me ask you
And
this.
a lot of fans don't like Wendy either. They're like,
They do not.
yes, see, here go Miss 4 Degrees, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. When you hear, because we know you are the king of pop culture, so we know that you get the real tea. Has anyone ever said, and just not specific people, just overall, what is it about her that is so off-putting
hmm.
to her
Honestly,
and to
based on
people?
what I've heard, I think
Okay.
it's just she doesn't vibe with everyone, and I think she might be very, and it could, and again, this I think people sometimes feel that way about me. I don't know if that's how you felt when you first, but you said you also hesitant to have me on your podcast. Like you were kind of, I don't know what the word would be, but you were like, I want to ask, but I don't know if I should ask.
Based
And I've
on
heard that.
experiences with other people that are have a big audience, you're like, that's why it was with you. It was like, oh, he has a really big audience. But then I'm like, get out of your head and just ask him. But you are when you like literally responded the same day or whatever and was so gracious. And then meeting you in person just took it up another notch. So,
But
but
I say all of that that people have a an interaction with
perception.
you or
Okay.
perception of you, and they think one way, and I've heard that, but I've never heard anything to the point where I would think that people would celebrate her downfall.
Got you. Okay.
Like I haven't heard
Okay.
anyone say like, "Oh, she did this to me." Some people love to cite the NECA of it all, and please understand, I'm going to say this now. I'm going to say it one more time, and NECA, I know you will hear this.
Say it again.
NECA not coming back was not on Dr. Wendy. That made a played a part, but please understand the network is not going to listen to Dr. Wendy because she's not that important to the network or the show.
Come on.
If it was Giselle, I could understand.
Yeah.
NECA, you are hanging out with Giselle off camera and they still did not bring you back. Girl, you were not that interesting.
Come
And yes,
on.
maybe you love the lifestyle, but this is why I always say, y'all keep saying that you want the lifestyle, but you get people with the lifestyle, but they don't have the personality. And NECA didn't have the personality. It
Yeah.
wasn't just about the whole Osu or the family drama. That didn't help,
Yeah.
but they said they're like, she didn't vibe really well with the audience. People really didn't gravitate to her. Let's go somewhere else. That's why Neck is still hanging around these people. She has hopes of
Yeah.
returning.
Yeah. I'm
No.
with you. When I was like, no, 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 no. Let's not. Now we
Everyone's
can
like,
bring
justice for NECA now. Justice for NECA. No.
like for
No.
what? Right. Right. Exactly. Like,
Shut up.
no, that's I'm with you. Like that is nowhere near like, yeah. So
No.
it's I feel like there is a lot of here, Wendy's inauthentic.
Mm.
And I think, and people can't connect with her because she's trying to connect with her and trying to
Hmm.
figure out what she wants to do. So how can you? And Wendy's not the type, even when she was getting advice from Karen, even if that was true, there's something about her that's so stiff that doesn't break. So it didn't come off as genuine. Even if you really were like, I really want advice from you, it didn't come off as authentic. And I think that's what people have a hard time trying to find in Wendy.
And then we have incidents like our friend, the Brooke Ashley, tells a story
Yes,
about her interaction with Wendy. Yes, that interaction is, I think, it's similar to what people have experienced with Wendy. They just didn't
got
never
you.
know where they're going. Yet she's a little off-putting, and I think that's what happened with Brooke, where you're coming up to a creator who's had your back
Uh,
multiple times,
yeah.
and not saying that they're mean. Did she do anything terrible to Brooke? Not necessarily, but it also sort of off-putting. And I think that's people's experience with
With
Wendy.
her.
They're like, she's a little off-putting. She's a little, some people just got bad energy.
Yeah, and her being condescending in certain
Mm.
instances I didn't see it because I'm like,
Hmm.
well, is it a read or is it condescending? But not only did she say that to Brooke, it'd be one thing if she had left it there like, I feel like you're mean. What she said
Hmm.
was, I don't watch you, but my
Hmm.
friends watch you.
Condescending.
Oh, baby, you were trying to be condescending and smart.
Condescending. And I think that's people's experience of her off camera as well. Like there's these condescending digs that were
Yeah.
like unnecessary.
Yeah. Because why would you?
Unnecessary.
Why would you? Because when Brooke, because and it's all it's like, are you condescending in defense of you saying something that's not true? Because when Brooke said, "Can you give me an example?" Now you're on the spot. She didn't expect Brooke. She expected Brooke to be like some other content creators. Oh my gosh, no! I love
Like,
you. I did. Yes, no. Brooke said, "Can you give me an example?" And she says, "I don't watch you. My friends do." My
girl.
people have told me, girl, you watch.
Yeah, she said her people.
Yeah, her people. Yeah, my people watch. Who are you that you'd have people watch like, girl, please. I know you watch me. You're set every time Brooke posts a notification that says live. Like, give me a break. So, and also when I had Rachel Lindsay on, she said, even though we all had our thoughts, we were talking about the colorism of it all, and Rachel felt like there was a bit of that. She also said, out of everyone, Dr. Wendy was not warm. The entire cast was warm to her. And Robin, we saw the panel was almost looked like she wanted to cry on that panel, with what people were saying. And here, Wendy was the one that was not warm to her. So
Yeah.
it does
See,
make sense.
another people.
Yeah.
I love Rachel Lindsay. We met Rachel Lindsay together at BravoCon.
Yes,
I
we
like her.
did. And she did say, "Why aren't you hosting a panel to Kempire?" She did. She did.
Look.
I,
And
I'm
then, oh my
asking
God,
too.
really, wait, hold on.
Okay.
Just in case Rachel sees it. Sorry, Rachel. We got to talk about it. Literally, then the news broke that she was getting this divorce.
Yes.
Wasn't it like weeks later?
It was weeks later, and I'm gonna tell y'all, this is my hand to God. God could come down and strike. You know how sometimes I do believe I'm in tune with certain things, right? My feelings. So when I was writing down the interview questions I wanted to ask her, I asked her about her husband. And then I even
Mm.
said, I stopped and I said, who's taking care of you? And kind of tried to go in the direction of the husband. But I kind of stopped it because I was like, something seems off. But then I said, Taria, you are reading too much into this. So I kind of backpedaled on my notes. And when that happened, I was like, I wished I had a went there. I would, but at the also, who knows how that could have went? That could have went not good. You know what I mean? But when that news broke, I was telling Corey, I knew it. And not that you wish that, but I was like, and I
No,
was
not at
going
all.
down the
Especially how
path.
it turned out.
Yeah.
You
Like,
got to pay him out, and she's still paying him.
ooh, I can't even say if I had to, I can't imagine having to pay a man. I just cannot.
I'm so mad about that
Me
situation,
too.
and it's not
Like
just because we met
Rachel,
her and she's so lovely, but it's just sort of like,
so
damn,
lovely.
oh my
And
God, like you got to pay this man, and he's not like he don't have a job.
right. And the only reason I went up there because I had ran it by you and you were like, go say something. So I was like,
Yeah,
okay. And she was so
I like her.
just so everything. She talked about our gap. So I said, when I email your person, I'm gonna let so you remember it's your gap sister. And she said, okay. But yeah, that news broke after that. I hope that Rachel thrives beyond belief and he has to watch it. And that what
Oh,
she has to give him is a drop in the bucket.
she will. She's smart. She's beautiful. She's
Yeah.
intelligent. I mean,
Yeah.
and she's good at what she does.
Yes. And
She
very
will be
personable.
fine.
Very
Yeah, yeah,
personable. So
she will be fine.
yeah, I just with Potomac and the newbies, I'm looking, is forward the word? Maybe not necessarily forward, but I want to see where Angel goes from here because Kiana did check her in
Oh my
front of
God.
everybody.
And then at the preview for next week's episode, I'm like, oh God, this just gets worse for this gets worse for Angel.
Yes. And there was a
Because
part of
apparently
me
Angel didn't want Jazzy to come on this trip. And now she's
crazy.
backpedaling. Like, what? Like, what?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, he needs to get off the Kiana Titanic.
Because it's going down fast. And I think there was a point, well, the way Angel presents herself, I said to myself when she was chin checked in that scene, is it
Sorry.
because, no, I said this in my review. I said, is it because you think that you know what it is going into being a housewife, right? We watch
Mm,
these for years. So we think we know when the setup is coming, or we know, as Candy said, when you're the beat, meaning somebody brings something up and you're like, I'm the center of this now. I'm the beat. So we all think we know because we watch, we do this. And in her mind at that moment, was she like, oh my God, I'm a housewife. This is real. What Giselle, like when Wendy said you didn't have that same energy, you have Giselle saying facts. You have Tia saying, yeah, I only knew it was as heavy as it was because of you. And in her mind, and then you got your friend saying, let that conversation not happen again. Are you like,
mm.
do I go off like I normally would because there's still cameras here and I still want to
And
present myself?
I also wonder what exactly Kiana said to her because you could see there's a conflict in she's like she wants to be herself, but at the same time she's like she wants to have Kiana's back, and I'm wondering
Yes.
Kiana probably told her like we need they're going to try and divide us. We got to ride with each other no matter what.
Yeah.
I
Only
wish she
for
would have told.
And only for Kiana not to do that though, because for you to say in front of everybody, I hope that's the last conversation. And
Mm,
then you put our private business on Front Street when you say, do you like this lady? Because that lets me know that y'all had a conversation about Wendy. So
right?
Kiana is not even playing it smart. Like, girl,
Like,
you
do
just,
you like this lady? What does that mean?
do you
They don't
like
know
this?
each other like that, and they went to Temple the same time. I don't know if she graduated. That's on this week's episode too. But they were like she was a freshman and Wendy was a senior.
Yeah,
I mean, were you talking to the seniors when you were in college? I mean,
right.
were you talking to the seniors
Even though that
or
was
the
your roommate's friend, you weren't hanging out with your, where you hang, unless you were hanging out with your roommate in her circles. So let's not do that. But it was like, Keon, like, oh no, my friend. Oh, I said a part of me wish Angel had a went. Let me explain to you why my energy was different. It was days later. But as for you, Kiana, what we not gonna do is let this divide us and be like, I didn't really appreciate that. But you, like you said, you could tell it was kind of like,
she was conflicted?
and I'm sorry, but Kiana and her mama gave off the energy like, come outside, we're not gonna fight you together.
Right, right. She's just hovering. She's by the
And
mantle. She's down. Greg's over there, just like rubbing his head, like, why am I here? Why did I do this? Because you couldn't get a 10 like Kiana, so you're enamored like the audience is.
yes,
I'm
yes.
just like, what is going? I mean, the condo is gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. It's, yeah. Would you say beautiful gowns, beautiful condos, gorgeous? I like
Beautiful.
I wasn't mad at how how Giselle was moving story when she said, here's my question,
Hmm.
the energy, and how Wendy said the energy is different. Like, again, that was old to me, that was like housewives. Like, yes, we're just talking about this argument. But Kiana's, when it was brought up that Angel mentioned the fight, and Kiana's like, wow. I was like, oh, that's not gonna be good for Angel. What really got me, I was laughing so hard. And I was cheering Stacy when they were on that sprinter and Stacy said, "Are you going to chin check me? I know you'll be the one to do it."
Stacey is winning right now. I don't care what
Yes.
anyone says. She has been able to. I'm utterly impressed by her, but I was utterly impressed by her last season. That's why I liked her last season,
Yeah.
despite
Yeah.
what went down after she came on our show, Kept Our After Dark, live from DC. Um,
Hmm.
besides that, and that's why I come in every season. I'm gonna come in with an open mind and open
Yeah.
heart. I still enjoy her, and
Me
everyone's
too.
coming for her, and she is handling it, and she's not letting them make it seem like she's bothered at all. And her commentary is giving.
And I like that it's giving not just in her confessional, she's giving it to them in scene. She
Yeah.
reminds me of that season with Candace, and she's like, "You got something? You got something? You got something?" She's like, "Drrrr, I got it." Like, I
Hmm.
got you all. When she said that about that fight, I watched that. I had tears in my eyes. I was so, and even Wendy, I thought it was so funny because it was so stupid. Wipe her dress. You do it. If I had a cotton dress
Right?
on, I would. Like,
Like, what is happening right now?
did you
She's like,
did
you're afraid of 20 years. This is why I want Candace to come back because Candace says that she knows Stacey. Candace is obviously giving grace to Wendy during the situation.
mhm.
Those three together, those are very well spoken women
And would
and
eat
could read.
Ashley up.
I need
I
to see
would.
that happen. And
Me
I'm not a
too.
huge fan of Candace. I'm not a huge
Yes.
fan of anything, to be honest with you. But I'm like, bring her back. And I know
Yeah.
some people are like, oh, I don't like Candace. She's da da da. No, those are the characters. Even if you like them, they cause an emotion in you. And
Yes.
what the thing from, especially when it comes to these confessionals, is a Candace Reed.
Yes. And so fun. And I feel like, and I don't like when people try to say this person is trying to be, but I'm sorry. Ashley is giving me gallop out of here with your
What was this? I
yes.
just, she
And
was
mind you,
so stupid.
if I'm not mistaken, I think Candace said that to somebody else, maybe to Ashley or
I
somebody
think she
else.
did. I think she did.
So
Please remind
like,
us.
yeah, and then she's trying to be so
It just lands
shady.
differently with Candace. It
Yes.
lands differently. She
It,
knows
it,
what
and
she's doing.
and one thing I liked about Candace was I didn't feel, of course, there's a little bit of playing to the camera and confessionals.
Oh
That's
yeah.
normal, it's dramatic. But I felt like the Candace that we were seeing is what we were getting. And that's what I
Mhm.
appreciated, whether good, bad, indifferent.
You see it when she does interviews. You see it in her podcast.
Yeah.
That is Candace.
Yeah. Like that, whether you can take it in small doses, big doses, no doses. That's just who
Yep. Good, bad, or
she is.
indifferent. That is
Yeah.
who she is.
I would love that. But did you clock how when Wendy said use your dress, Angel bent down? Is it like
I was like, oh God. Angel, like, and especially because her tagline, I liked her tagline,
me
but very
too?
much like Kiara's tagline, I was like, Kiara is not living up to that tagline. And based off this week's past episode and the next week's episode, I'm like, she's not living up to that tagline either. I'm like,
No.
what
And
is living up
then
to her tagline is Wendy, because she high, and Stacy, because Stacy still I rise. She's still rising.
and still I rise. She is right. And I think Tia is might be a sleeper. Like people may think that I think she gonna come through
Oh,
as like
wait till you see next week's episode. The way she gathers Ash, I was like, oh,
I
I
can't
like
wait.
it.
I saw the little clip. I can't wait to see like because I'm for those of you who've been following me since the beginning, Ashley, and I don't say I try not to say I dislike. There are housewives that I'm not, that I don't see it for. I have
Yeah.
tried with Ashley. I even said, okay, maybe if when her and Candace tried to do that little friend thing, I was like, you know
Mm.
what? If they teamed up and got them Green Eyed Bandits together, I would be
Mm.
here for it. But Ashley is somebody I just can't. I hear that somebody said that she's sweet in life, but she's also Ashley. And I said, oh,
Mm.
okay.
Mm.
So even it was so reminiscent of season 5 when she was in the bathroom when the fight happened, then you come out and want to speak on it. You weren't even there in the store with the fight. And now you're like, we just want to keep the energy. And then when she said in her confessional with Stacy, she's making me want to chin check her right now.
I thought
Girl,
I wish you
girl,
would try.
I wish you would try. You and
I
you're
think y'all
trying
still
to
sleeping on Detroit Stacy. She's
that's what
giving you pretty proper, but
because and I don't think Stacy's scared. Like she knows that Kiana was fighting and she's still
he's
making them
literally
little
saying
comments.
that to Kiana right next to Kiara.
And I will say, I think Stacey proved our point that Kiana doesn't have any real beef with her when she said, "Oh, you wanted to get to know me, but you never invited me to anything." And she said, "Because I didn't care."
Hmm.
So if your only beef is that she was lying about TJ, that's it. Who cares? Like, okay,
Yeah,
she lied about TJ.
they're all dragging it. They're all dragging it. They're
It,
all reaching for
yeah.
something. Um, Karen is missed. Her confessionals are missed. I'm glad Karen went to jail though. Just saying, because the fourth DUI, I think that was the only way that Karen was going to learn. But I am ready for Karen to return. I look forward and look, when you think about it, our cast next season could be really great.
Okay.
Kiara, bye. Keep Tia and Angel just because they're
Okay.
newbies. You know, they like to give them 2 seasons based
Yeah.
off of what we're seeing so far. I don't
Yes.
mind if they come back, but there's only 3 episodes. Bring back Candace. Wendy's gonna need the support. She's already really cool with Stacey. Stacey was the only one from the cast to say I love you in the comment section, and
Yes.
Wendy responded to her. She was like, "Thank you for being a real friend."
Yes. And I was like, oh,
She's gonna need this support.
yeah.
I'm interested to see that gang of people, and I already know that. I think that especially because what Karen has gone through, she's going to have a different perspective on the Wendy of it all.
Mm. Do you
So I
think a
think they
different
should.
perspective as in a mature perspective or as in a
I
little a
think
catty?
she likes to be a mother. She does like to be a mother
Okay.
hen. I think
Okay.
that'll be
Yeah.
her opportunity. Also, will take some heat off of her and questions off of her.
Oh,
I could definitely see
yes.
her embracing Wendy and
And
having
telling
Wendy's
the
back.
other girls to give her grace. It's the same grace I wanted from you. give it to her.
Mm.
I could see her say, oh, okay.
I think season 11 is going to be lit.
Yes. And I'm
It's
going to
not just
say,
because of the Wendy of it all. It's just the potential of the cast.
of this cast, yes. I am not looking. Are you looking forward to seeing Monique? I'll be honest, I'm not really. She hasn't
I
even
think
done
because
press with the
you
cast.
watched Love and Marriage DC, right?
Yes, I did.
I think the people that watch Love and Marriage DC are sort of like about Monique coming back. But if you have not watched anything since season 5, I could see why people would be like, I'm looking forward to her coming back. But we watch DC and it's like, and then
Yeah.
we've seen the interviews. You know what I mean? We've seen the interviews recent since like December
Yes.
where she was planning the show and behind the scenes. So I was sort of like, and some of like the little passive aggressive comments in regards to ain't nobody got time for that, in regards to doing another photo shoot, not showing up to the premiere party. And I get it, she's a mother of three, but girl,
This, like, to me, it's like this was, if you're a friend of, that means it's your job. So that means you show up. And to me, I said, I've never really cared for Monique since her first season because I always felt like it was a, I'm trying to be this, I'm trying to be that. I will say
she's
though, again,
beautiful.
yes, I like looking at her. I do. But I wanted,
But she showed up in season 5, and that's where I was sort of like, that's where I liked her. I was like,
okay,
whoa, where was
she's
this Monique? Because I never was a huge fan of Monique either. But
okay.
when she came into that reunion, I was
That
like, this is who we've been waiting on. Who
and
is this?
directed her energy to the appropriate people.
Yes.
That was my
Yes.
thing because it was like that smoke, you should have had that smoke for them. Yeah, not for Candace or anybody else. And when you think back, I was never a fan. I wasn't a fan of Candace until I realized why I wasn't a fan of her because I used to really love Giselle and Robin. But then when she got
Mm.
into the
And we
argument with
all did.
Giselle, yeah, I said, Why don't you like Candace? And I said, because she's arguing with your phrase. Now take yourself out of it and look at the actual argument. Oh, I agree with Candace.
Mm.
What really got me not caring for Monique, I liked Candace and Monique together, and I wanted them to together stay on Ashley's neck. I liked that. But it was interesting when Ashley was on Monique's neck, and then we learned that there was footage of Michael grabbing the behind at
Mm.
Monique's house. All of a sudden, Ashley's now apologizing to Monique. Candace is still going to bat for you because if you notice, Candace got into it with Ashley defending Karen when they went on that trip. She inserted, and then she was defending Monique against Ashley, only for Monique to turn around and be cool with this girl. And now you're saying, calling me a child, but I had your back. And I hated to see their friendship fall apart because it seemed like they really had a good friendship.
Oh, and it's kind of sad that well, at least Candace still takes digs at Monique.
She
So I'm just
does.
sort of like, I would honestly prefer seeing Candace and Monique make up than Candace and that than Monique and Giselle because I don't believe that's real.
Me neither. And I feel like I was talking to a friend of mine, shout out to Carlos, and he made a good point. He said, we always go
Carlos
back.
King?
No, not Carlos King.
I know,
No,
like
not Carlos the King. It's like,
I just want to clarify for the audience. They're like, wait,
no,
she's talking
no,
about her friend
Carlos
Carlos?
J. Harris.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
But he made a good point. Season 5, it still always comes up, right? Because the audience was so divided. And he said, I think for Potomac to truly forward, we need to see that sit down between Candace and Monique to move it
Hmm.
forward. And I was like, you know what?
Here's the thing with that though. We could have moved forward if Bravo and production, more so Bravo, because production doesn't really manage this. If we
Okay.
had the conversation when it comes to colorism, when
You're
when
right.
they really wanted to heal, the audience needed healing too,
You're
and they
right.
refused to actually sit down and have the conversation. Because you remember when they started to have the conversation and they wanted to have the conversation amongst the women, and they all decided, oh no, we don't need to bring. No, no, no. You as a network, as the employer, should have been like, you know what? I want this cast to be able to move forward. So let's move forward by having the conversation because we also need to help the audience get
Hmm.
over this. So now I'm starting to see already the little separation again when it comes to what has been happening when
Yeah.
it comes to Potomac because of these old conversations coming back up because of Monique returning.
Yeah.
And it's because it hasn't been healed. That
You're
hasn't been
right.
healed. Audience and from the cast standpoint, yes, I would love for Candace and Monique to be able to have a conversation and heal. But I think us ignoring the colorism
Yeah.
and the other toxic things that were happening on this cast is part of the reason why it will never be truly healed.
Yeah, and because they don't want to acknowledge like old conversations that they've had. I remember, Robin saying how she was glad when Monique came on the show because she felt like the cast needed more brown skinned women.
Mm,
Robin saying that. So if a cast
mm,
member is saying that, you can't then act naive to an audience when they say, "Hey, this is what we're noticing." And if it's not colorism, then explain to me what it is. If the
yes.
reaction, I said that, I preached that with Ashley and Candace. Ashley and Candace could do the very same thing or
Mm,
very similar. And the reaction with Candace was always different. Even this, I remember the first time Candace said something about Mia's big feet. Ashley said it, I mean, Giselle said it in the confessional as well. And Candace was body shaming. And it's like, do
but
y'all
no one
really?
also mentioned recently when she said that about Stacey. Ashley said that about Stacey. Nobody said
Yes.
anything like that.
Nobody said anything. So it's like, okay, if it's not colorism, then just be honest and say, oh, it's because we like Ashley. I had someone talking to me about Candace, the Candace and Ashley of it all. And they said, oh, but Ashley is just so cute. And I said, and they were not black. And I was like,
Mm,
and I don't think people, if you're not black, you don't get it. If you are black, sometimes you're like, oh, I don't think that's what it is.
mm,
You don't want it to be that, but also it's like, again, I can't help but think back to some of the things. I remember Giselle saying in that same interview that Robin was in that the world had never seen light-skinned, green-eyed black women that were successful. Who hasn't seen
mm.
that?
Hmm.
So it's like, and again, if it's not colorism, because it may not be, then let's have the discussion. What is it? What is it about this person you don't like? What is it about this person? So you're right. I think we should have had a discussion and not
Look,
Nicki Minaj come in halfway through a reunion.
here's the thing, and I said this during my recaps when we were talking about the colorism of it all. I say colorism was created to separate us, and that's
Yes.
exactly what won on this cast. That it did
Mm,
exactly what it was supposed to do:
you're right.
separate audience, and it separated this cast.
Yeah,
So
you're
colorism
right.
won.
Oh, Lord. Y'all, do y'all hear us? Bravo, if by chance you're watching this. Do y'all hear this? This is what needed to be discussed. And I do feel like
Tag Andy in the clip.
it'll be like,
Don't tag him in my profile because it won't come up. I'm blocked.
I was gonna say, and he might be like, block me, block. Like, how dare you? Dare you? Oh my God, you have been here for almost 2 hours. I know you have a lot to do, but before I let you go, I have to get your thoughts on Salt Lake City so far.
Oh, talking about a show right now. I'm enjoying Salt Lake City. I'm
Yeah.
not enjoying the Angie and Lisa fight of it all because I'm sort of like, what are we fighting about right
Yes.
now?
Yes.
But Lisa, I mean, again, they make Lisa more important than she actually is on this show. They focus so much on Lisa that they make her seem like she is that girl, and she isn't. My favorite parts of the season so far have been Angie and Mary. I also watched Angie's wife swap. That was so heartwarming. But that conversation between Angie and Mary after they had their big fight, I was just like, this is a real friendship. This is a true
Yes.
bond. And it's
Yes.
enjoyable to watch. We didn't expect what we got during the season finale last season of Salt Lake City, where they were arguing and then they had that heartfelt moment. I was like, these women truly love each other. We did not see it coming. I'm sure
No.
production didn't see it coming. I know they wanted to give us this moment. Mary is just she's peeling back so many layers, and maybe
Yes.
because she don't have the stepfather, grandfather, husband around, but she's really opening up, and I'm loving
Yeah.
it.
She and
And when
and
she made the appearance on White Swap, I was like, my heart flooded. I was like, Mary's here?
they're friends, right? It's like it to me, it shows I like it's two separate things for me. I've always liked Mary. I have not always liked the things she's done because Mary is not always right, but I felt like almost like it sort of reminded me of Mariah Carey when she speaks about being married to Tommy Mottola. She was like, if I could have just had a life outside of that. And I feel like when Mary said in her episode to see what maybe one or two episodes ago, remember Mary was married before. She was living her own life. And her grandmom called her and said, it's time for you to not just take over the church, get saved and come back to church. And it's like, I got to do what she asked, even though this is disgusting to me, I am obligated. I got it. And I wonder if the grandmom used a little bit of Christian manipulation and like, this is
Mm.
what she has to do. And you have to marry this man and do all this. And I felt like she was almost like in a cage a little bit. And that could, I mean, her resentment comes out in different ways. And I felt like we got such a Mary that always seemed like she couldn't finish her sentences and her words. And she's, except for when she was in that pulpit or giving advice to someone because she's a pastor.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Good advice.
yeah, she steps into that role. So her and Angie, I love seeing Mary pull back layers. I also
Mhm.
hope that Mary realizes that everything she's saying to Angie, I want her to reflect that too.
I think
Because,
you're
yeah.
because I don't know if I could be friends with Mary. She is a lot and requires a lot.
And if
So
you and if
Angie,
you were living up to it is one thing. Like, okay, I gotta rise to my friend. Friend, you ain't quite rising to what you want me to rise to sometimes. And because she's saying, she wants Angie to work on the things that trigger her. Knock knock, who's there? Reflection. Um, but I I also like Mary because she's honest about what she's been
Mhm.
through, and this is why the way I am. So I like
Yeah.
seeing those different layers of Mary. With Angie, it shows me who Angie is as a person. For her to fight for her friendship with Mary, because I don't know if I could have done that. Like, you're supposed to be my friend. We're on TV
Right.
and you're mad at me. Yeah. So she laid her pride to the side and fought for her friendship. And the way that she's looking at Mary shows that she respects Mary in that scene. I was
It
like,
makes
this
me
is
wonder, like, the conversations that we haven't seen that they've had, and
yes.
really, they've had some really personal conversations.
Yes. And they were fighting like sisters. Sisters are the
Yeah.
only ones that can say the most things to each
Get
other and
another
then
one.
come.
Look, get another
Get it.
one.
Yeah, when she said, get it. No, you're not. Get another one. And Mary, I feel like the joke about the farts, yes, did Angie carry on? But it was embarrassing to Mary because when you're farting, you kind of don't have control over your body. And Mary wants to always be in control. And so now you're talking about my
I also understand
flatulence.
where Mary's coming from too. In regards to if you tell a friend something and then they
Yes.
start just keep talking
Like,
about it over and
stop.
I'm just like, this is why I don't tell you anything.
Yes. And even though we all fart, it could still be kind of embarrassing a little bit. You know what I mean? Just like,
Yeah.
and here I told you,
I know it was a funny moment for us to watch
yes,
them recollect this. I know some people took it very seriously, like, oh, she made a big deal about the farts. That wasn't a big. It was funny for us to watch that
yes,
her
it,
feel about it.
and but again, it opened up the for a wider conversation. So the fart might have been the catalyst. But when Mary said, I don't get this often, this comes along once every 20 years. It's like, wow. And here, and to know that Mary's also actually back friends with Meredith in real life as well. And she
Well,
doesn't let their differences come in between them. So I kind of could feel like, okay, she's upset with Angie. Like Angie and Meredith don't really get along, but I'm not letting that affect my friendship with either of you. Why are you bringing Lisa like, oh, I bow down to, because again, Mary doesn't want to seem like she's. So I kind of got where both of them were going, but just there's something about Angie that I really like.
there is. I mean, there's some performative, pre-produced stuff that
Of
I'm like,
course,
okay.
yeah.
And I didn't like that about her in the beginning because she really was like a follower in the beginning.
Yes.
And then it was Lisa, but she really has come into her own.
Yeah.
And what I've seen of her, and then seeing her on White Swap also helped solidify that for me. There's
Mhm.
something very genuinely good about
Yes.
her, and you can
Yeah.
see that from her father too. Like something very, very genuine
Yes.
about him. But I think she's actually a good person. I can't say the same for Lisa Barlow.
Me
I
neither.
don't
And
think Lisa Barlow.
when Heather mentioned the suit man, and Lisa basically
Soup
admitted
or
she
soup
made
man?
a suit man. Yeah, that's a suit. And
You
Lisa
found that out this
admitted,
week.
well, and Lisa admitted she made it up. What else are you making up that you're throwing out there? That for me was like, oh, it's not only just that you're hearing rumor, because it's one thing if you're hearing things without digging, and so I'm gonna throw it out there. You're not even hearing this stuff, and you're throwing out accusations like this. And then to me, as a married person who has had to realize that, oh, it pains me to say it, but I'm not as perfect of a wife as I thought I
No.
was. As, okay, still perfect, not as. Thinking that
Oh,
I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, never considering. It's something simple like Corey may ask for a glass of water. If I get a glass of water, do a backflip, land in a split, and pirouette, and he doesn't react, he didn't ask for that. He just asked for a glass of water. But now I'm wanting you to respond because I did something like that's not even what you wanted. You just wanted a glass of water. So learning how to talk to my spouse and hear him, even if I think I'm right, slow down, let him finish. Because Lisa, it seems like she's physically incapable of stopping
Mm,
and not responding. And I had to learn that. And I would always use it as a defense. Like if Corey was going to say, well, on Thursday we went here, here. And if it was wrong, I would feel the need to like correct. But it's like, no, wait, let him get out his thought. So
mhm.
watching John say,
Mm.
but you're always right. It's just when it comes to me. And the way he said it, he wasn't yelling. It was just very much accepting it as fact. I said, oh
I
girl,
worry for that relationship. But I worried for
oh
that relationship from before because I was like, I don't know how he does it.
at all. And she just won't let him talk. And then
Maybe
when
she has
she
ADHD like Gertie thinks that she has. Just asking. I'm not diagnosed, and maybe she has it. I mean, that might be the sign of a good housewife, though, because I feel like a lot of them have a lot of stuff going on. If you've ever been around them in their presence, all the housewives had that little thing about them that's like,
okay.
ooh, that's a lot.
I can't imagine like taking that on. Yeah, like, oh, it's nice to see you in passing, girl. Talk to you in the DM every now and then, but that's a lot.
A
Yeah.
lot.
I when Lisa said I sit in the car and cry because I feel alone, I get
Mm.
sometimes we do make feel that way, but is that of your own doing? Because if people don't think the way you think or do it the way you think, I'll just do it myself. So now it's almost like a martyr. I've got to do all this for my family. No, it's because you want to be in control. So you're
Yeah.
choosing to take that on for your family.
Unless John is not as innocent and he pretends to be on the show. I
And
mean, I
that could be, well, that could be too. You know, the seasons when they were all talking about Mary, there were rumors out there about John and Lisa too, but nobody brought those two, which is why I always look at Lisa. When she says, I never do anything to them, when Heather was telling her about herself in that store, and Lisa in her confessional says, basically, Heather started with me first because
know.
once again on national TV, you said she was a good time girl, flashing her boot. You said a rumor about her on TV, and she responded to you saying that. And I realized that's what Lisa does. She gets upset about the response to her action.
i.e., Angie.
The Todd father,
But
as you
she's
call
not
him.
innocent, but I wish they would stop giving her so much energy.
Me too. Yeah. Just move on without like, instead of saying, we wish you were on the trip. Girl, you missed it, girl. We had a time. Remember when such and such and such and such? And make her, even when they were talking at, was it Whitney's thing last week? And they're all talking about living on land. I could be a farmer. Like, where did that come from? Like,
I
okay. But the
mean, again,
Todd
that
father,
probably would make her a good housewife because she's just so random.
yeah. Yeah. The
What
Todd
about her in
father.
the what? A scoop
Yes.
man?
And
Galaxy.
you're admitting you made that up. That is a big people like that to me are actually dangerous people because you will say anything when you're upset.
Yeah. But then again, at the end of this week's episode, now we have Bronwyn with her allegations of like identity theft. Why all of a sudden now this? Oh, did Lisa do this, or is Lisa perpetuating this? I'm frozen. Please hold.
Yep.
But I'm still here. I'm still
Still
here.
here. And still
There we
you
go.
rise. And
Still I
still you
rise. But
rise.
yeah, but I feel like again here we are making Lisa a part of this.
Right.
And
Because,
if she didn't need, because again, we know how the Bravo universe is, but maybe this is producer saying, make it one of the housewives. Make it you think us make us think that it was one of the housewives. But we know how the Bravo universe is. The new
yeah,
housewife, if there's allegations, they're gonna dig it up.
they are going to, I mean, they already started on Kiana and Cookie.
And those are like old. I mean, the cookie ones, I don't know how old those are, but
I'm going to say I know somebody that know Miss Cookie and they,
everybody then I've already had people in my DMs
so
about Miss
you
Cookie.
already know. You already know where I'm going with that. Yeah.
Some of people like that should stay off of television.
And then got to be a nerve to be under NECA's post talking about and all her jewels are accounted for. Baby, I don't think you. Okay.
And then they got nerve to be in my DMs. What?
Oh, looky, looky, Miss Cookie. No. And that's the way that cookie will crumble because you will get exposed quickly.
I'm saving it for the Kepi After Dark 2026.
In DC, the DC one, the DC. Since she's from here, you think she'll come? You can ask her about it on stage.
No, people like that need to stay away. No,
Okay. But with
no, no.
Bronwyn, I'm glad that she's speaking to it. I guess legally she says she can't. And it was something, but she did let us know it's something that happened years ago. But why can't, if,
Mm.
here's my thing, if it happened to you and you were the one, why can't you talk about it?
Again, I'm not an attorney, but I don't see why you couldn't unless there were other individuals involved in the scheme.
Oh,
That's what made me think like, okay, maybe there are other people involved, and if she talks about it, then
wait, she did, I think wait, you bring him back something. She might have said that in her confessional.
I
Something
don't know if
about,
she said. I
did
don't
you,
recall her saying that. I know
I'm gonna
I
have to
said
go
it.
back and watch.
I feel like maybe other people were involved, but I honestly believe Todd. They got together, and Todd was like, "Okay, I have this. You have this history. We're gonna get this sealed."
Mm, yeah,
That's what
because
I
it
feel
can't
like.
affect him financially.
Protect him.
If it was a financial crime.
Mhm. Protect. That's why it's sealed, and that's why she will continue to say, "I can't talk about it. It's sealed."
So it's like, no, you're just choosing not to talk about it because it's sealed, because you're the one that wanted it sealed. It's not like the government said, let's seal this and you can't talk about it. Boom.
Mhm.
Okay. The Todd father, I get he doesn't want to do the show. We knew Greg didn't want to do the show last season in Potomac, and he showed up a certain way. This season, it's like, I don't want to do it, but I can see how I can be a bit more supportive.
Mhm.
Todd has every right to not want to do the show, but just after a while, it was kind of getting on my nerves. Like, and I can see when he ate that cherry after she had
Nine
just
seconds later,
said,
he wasn't listening.
because I wanted it. That's how
Mhm.
he is in business, I'm sure. I wanted the cherry. And
But if
she,
you don't want her on the show, pay her not to be on the show.
boom, and there you, and that's how we know that it's not about money, though. Some people just want the fame. And I think Brown wants a platform to show her outfits, to be on
Mhm.
TV, to
So
be
people know who
famous.
she is. Before no one knew
Yes.
who she was.
Boom. You had all this money living in this beautiful house. I often look at Housewives. Like there's certain Housewives franchises I can't watch and eat. Like old school New York, because they were always doing something disgusting to me. So I couldn't
Ah,
eat. I look at Bronwyn and I think she's so pretty and I love to see what she has on. But when she's eating, sometimes it makes me nauseous because I think about her dogs. Like, are your hands clean? I don't know why. Like, I go there. Like, I don't think I'd ever be able to eat at her house.
I mean, I would hope her house is. Oh, I know with
But
the
then they
poop, it
have
would
that
all.
commercial with her and Kyle and Shannon with the dog. I'm like, she knows she don't clean up after them dogs, and now she got this dog commercial. But anyway,
Mhm.
that's neither here nor there. That's my own little kink, not kink, but quirk, I guess. Like I just can't help it. Like, girl, your hands
Not
clean.
kink.
Yeah, yeah, not kink, quirk. But I just want Todd. I like the fact that he is. I have mixed feelings with Todd. Again, he don't want her on the show, but you don't have to make it. You don't have to be a part of making it miserable for her being on here.
Yep, but that's her husband.
That's her husband.
He's still
But
filming
clear,
though.
huh?
Still filming.
And I do think we don't see the part where Brown probably gives it back to him just as much. We just don't
She
see
is
it.
a Virgo.
Yeah, I feel like it ain't just Brown getting her feelings hurt. I think she can give it right back to him.
I
We
know
just
she
may,
is.
okay. Do you think there's a part of her that wants to make herself not look like a victim, but gain sympathy from the audience?
I can see that.
When she says, I don't want to be, I'm misunderstood already. I don't like to be misunderstood by you. I feel like it went there really quickly from eating
Yeah.
the cherry to you misunderstand me.
Mhm. I can definitely see herself making herself out to be the victim.
That
She's also Virgo. She's very strategic.
I know many of them,
Sorry,
and
Virgos. I don't mean that in a bad way, but
if you
plotting and
see,
planning.
if you ever see a Virgo that hasn't made a list, you need to put them in the museum of Ripley's Believe It or Not, because all the ones
I also
around
think
me.
that she's plotting and planning. her divorce.
Her lily pad, like Bethany Frankel would say,
Yeah.
this is her lily pad.
She's saving up her coins. This is why she's willing to argue and fight with Lisa because she's like, and move forward. Because he's like, why are you moving forward with her? I wouldn't spit on her if her brain was on fire.
I was like,
Uh,
whoa.
I'm like, all right,
Right.
tell me
Like,
how
tell
you
us.
really feel.
Right. I think I put that in my notes. Tell us how you really feel. Like,
I'm like, oh,
yeah.
okay. But I think she's saving her money,
Okay.
gaining these opportunities, and
Okay.
then eventually she will leave him.
Mm. And she'll leave with, I'm sure they have a prenup.
I'm sure. Or a post note.
Yeah. Okay, Bronwyn. Mm.
Especially when you come in and I got to seal a lawsuit for you or a criminal case for you,
Yeah.
allegedly. I don't know how we did it, but
And taking care of your parents
and your daughter,
and
that's
your
not
daughter.
mine.
Mm. Would her boyfriend live in here?
Mm-mm.
Shop communities are very different because never live where. And when you let me know y'all get ready to go have sex by saying bowling, no, ma'am.
Mm-mm.
No, ma'am. But yeah, I'm in Salt Lake
Oh,
is one that I'm looking forward to. Say that again.
not under my roof.
At all. At all. My black parents and me as a black parent, we don't do that here. You know, they famous for saying it. We don't do that here.
No.
We do
You
not
think
do
you
that.
grown, go be grown somewhere else.
But we don't do that here, and our babies are not bare feet. You put shoes on babies. It's just something my grandma would always say. Put shoes. We put shoes on our babies even if they can't walk. Salt
Mm-mm.
Lake is one I look forward to. I'm happy with Salt
Yeah.
Lake,
Yeah, I do too.
and
It's
I'm
a good
glad
season
my
so far.
yeah. And how many episodes are we in? Nine, 10,
Six. No,
six.
because that's the Peacock version with all the damn Watch What Happens Live thrown in between. They stopped doing it though after episode five.
Because they're not, like that would piss me, and I would stop it. Sometimes if Corey's watching TV up here and I don't want to go downstairs, I'll watch it on my laptop live with FiOS, and so I'm like, oh no, you won't get me. Click. We're not going right
You're
into to watch
trying
what
to help
happens.
those
Like,
ratings.
yes, yeah, and I'm just glad Miami's over.
Yeah.
I was
It was
enjoying
a
it,
good
and then
season
all
though.
yeah, it was. I enjoyed the season. Then all of a sudden something happened where it was like I'm done with this. We keep having to keep reliving the Gertie fight, watching them gaslight is I'm done.
Especially the reunion, the way it was handled, you could tell production and the network were on the side of the right side of the couch.
Did you see the I think it was Reality Checked podcast. Shout out to her. She did a video and she said I have a theory as to why Gertie didn't get into the details of it all.
Mm.
She took a screenshot when they were on break, when they were getting ready to go on break, you see Gertie with like a notebook under her arm.
Mm.
And then it's not her book, it's a notebook. And then she says, remember when Adriana is saying to Gertie, tell them what the text says. And Gertie is saying, they already said they don't want to get into the details. Who is they? Was it
Production.
production? Did she have that? Was that in that notebook? And so it made it come off like she couldn't articulate what she
Mm.
was talking about. And I was like, there's a part of me that doesn't want her to go back. But then that Aries side of me that's like, you ain't get ready to punk me is like, you ain't get ready to run me off the show. But what is it worth when it comes to your piece? Them thinking they got the up on you? Okay. If you really don't
And I
need
think
it.
that's exactly what we saw with Garcelle. They wanted
Yes.
Garcelle to come. But
Yeah.
Garcelle's just like she's like I looked around at this reunion and she's like none of these people are my friends. I'm done.
Yeah.
And she's been on the promo for her Lifetime movie this weekend. She of course they're asking her about that and
Yeah.
she's on Thursday night of Watch What Happens Live as well.
Okay.
And she's just like I was just she's not getting into specifics and on the Breakfast Club when they were asking her about the
Yes.
specifics, she refused to talk. She's like I'm not going back there.
I'm here for my movie. Let's talk. And I loved that. I did love how she spoke on Bose and Erica on Watch What Happens Live, and she said it was to her it was Mean Girl ish.
Mhm.
And then
They got a lot of backlash after that.
I remember talking about, and I said the reason for me was because number one, Erica saying the way she said it, and her saying, won't he do it? We know that came from you, Bose. Why would you teach her that? But even so,
She's the
that's your
older.
home girl. the way y'all played that, and Bo's always led with, I put black women first. That's just, she led with that. I'm
And
not saying,
all her coworkers were like, when?
yes, exactly. So, and she
Silly.
comes on on the show, black, black, black. So I can hold you to the standard that you set. I didn't say you had to be friends with Garcelle because she's black. Because as much as we want these casts full of white women, when they have two black women to be friends, we know that we're not a monolith. But that's what you led with.
Mm,
So we going by what you said.
mhm.
It'll be interesting this season.
It will be interesting this season. It'll be interesting that she'll stay for like 3 seasons because she does have a habit allegedly. Not really. I don't say alleged. She has a habit of going somewhere, working there for 2 years, and leaving.
So we'll see, because this is a whole nother audience for her.
Hmm.
Not you blinking like Lisa Barlow. Blink, blink, blink. 3 seasons.
I wish her the best. I'm
Yeah,
not excited about Beverly Hills this season because
me
I feel like the
neither.
same people are there. It's like, what is Erica going to talk about? What is Dorit going to be talking about? What is Kyle going to? Those are three just scenes that I don't want to see.
And I don't care
Okay,
about
Rachel
Sutton.
Zoe. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah. And oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Rachel Zoe, and then the Sutton of it all. It's like,
Oh, I forgot Sutton. Lord.
yeah, and then is Jennifer Tilly coming back? Like,
Yes, Jennifer. She needed Sutton. Definitely needed Jennifer to come back.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But I've never seen it for Sutton. She can have her funny moments, but I felt like we're seeing Reba and Sutton, and that's just what it is. And I don't really
Mm.
care to see Reba and Sutton. So y'all can have her.
So Avi was at the premiere party for
Yes.
Parcel's Lifetime movie. I was like, oh, he
Somebody,
chose this. You remember when she was asked about Avi no longer working for her? She was like a humana 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 Sutton.
she didn't have the words. Somebody said, "Oh, I see Garcelle won Avi in the divorce or in the breakup." That's it. Like that was it. So yes, Housewives. Then we see Married to Medicine. Dr. Heavenly is demoted to a friend of. I said, now she said it's because of the campaign. People speculate that she's using that as an excuse and that she was already going to be demoted. And she's saying
Mm,
that on Jamal Bryant's podcast, she did say it took them 8 weeks to get my contract together and we only filmed for 12. So I don't know, was
yeah.
that laying the groundwork, or what do you think? What do you know?
I definitely think it was her getting ahead of the story. I
Okay.
do believe the political aspect is something that we've never seen with Bravo, but I don't think it's going to take Bravo 8 weeks to figure that out.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think it's going to take them 8 weeks to figure it out. I think it was very convenient that this is the season where the story about her son is coming out. So, as a friend of, she doesn't have to delve too much into it. Yes, you see them talk about it in the trailer a little bit, but
Mhm.
she probably could have been dragged by the rest of this cast for week after week, and they didn't have that opportunity. So, conveniently, is she running for office? I mean, I was in
Oh,
Atlanta. People that vote in that jurisdiction were sort of like, yeah, we're not voting for her. That's what they said. The people that vote in that area. And then look, I said this last night on TikTok. I wish more people that interviewed her would actually hold her to the fire. There's so many examples on YouTube of her being problematic when it comes to women's infertility, when it comes to the LGBT community. I saw that some people asked her about it, but she gave the same very politician answer. Like,
yeah.
no, you said this in recent days. Why exactly would you say something like that?
Yeah.
And as someone that's, I'm just speaking to say if I was a person that went through infertility, and speaking as someone that went through infertility, how could you say something like that and you're going to represent me? There's
Yes.
so many examples on her YouTube channel that her opponent could use against her. I don't know if they have because I'm not following that election. I don't think she's going to win, to be honest with you. I would be shocked if she did.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
think she'd probably be shocked too.
yeah, I think so too. And I you made a good point. You because people have been saying it's fine. Look at our current administration, and you said we shouldn't be normalizing this kind of
Why are we
behavior
normal?
from our politicians. Yeah, yeah.
No.
I was a Married to Medicine watcher from day one. I watched all iterations, Houston, LA, all of that. And Dr. Heavenly turned me off last season. And the only reason I went back and watched some was because I was on a podcast and they were like, hey, you watch these. And I was like, I forgot how much, even though it sometimes it can be the mundane, there's still parts of it that I like because, and it's hard to let go of something when you've been there from the beginning. I remember when Sundays were all, I call them, we were in the black on Sundays. We had Potomac, we had Atlanta, we had Married to Medicine, and they all were good. Like Sundays, I was seated, not watching the like I was seated on my couch on Sundays. So I don't mind that she's a friend of. I'm hoping honestly that she's not the friend of that I'm gonna see like as though she's there the whole time. But I guess we'll see. And then
I mean,
can
the trailer they made it seem like she was there the whole time.
same. And I do wonder, do you think that's the reason Contessa's full time now? Or somebody said Phaedra's salary. Was it you? Or somebody said Phaedra's salary is like,
Well, I think Phaedra's salary definitely plays a part in regards to
okay,
because they had it in their budget to bring Phaedra to Married to Medicine, and now that she's gone, that does open up the budget.
yeah.
But I think based off the reunion with Contessa sitting out there since the beginning, I was like, they're bringing Contessa back full
Oh
time
yeah,
next
that's
season.
true.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
They treated Contessa like she was full time during the reunion last season.
And Contessa, if you see this, go on and give Buffy her $41,000 and get that lien up off your house. You got it.
Does she?
I don't know. She
Not
says she
according to
rich.
Heavenly. When Heavenly was screaming on her YouTube channel, she was talking about the finances, Contessa's finances.
Really? Okay, because Contessa make it seem like she got it, like they're rich.
So why hasn't she paid
Well, because I was
Buffy?
gonna say, why not pay your
Was
bill?
it a default judgment or was it they went through litigation and she won?
Uh, so Contessa sued Buffy for defamation. The case ended up being dismissed, and I don't know if the courts dismissed it or Contessa. So Buffy then went and said, I want her to have to pay my legal fees," and she won
Mm.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, and so but Buffy said, "I'm not playing with you. You're gonna give me my money one way or the other." That's
I mean,
like,
especially if you filed a defamation lawsuit against me,
and when I
then
saw
you're gonna pay for my legal fee.
$41,000
And mind you, Buffy probably don't need that money.
at all. And and Contessa, your mouth is the one. You could have very well responded to Buffy like she's lying without saying, "Let's see how rich you really are. I'm gonna take
Mm.
this to court." A part of me believes that Contessa said what Buffy said, because for Buffy to be willing to take it this far,
Yeah.
so I don't know. But I'm looking forward. Well, I don't know if looking. I'm kind of looking forward to Married to Medicine. I'm gonna be watching. I'll say that much. I'm gonna be watching.
That's how I
Um,
feel. I can't say that I'm looking forward to it. I will
yeah,
be watching.
I'm gonna be watching. Kempire, thank you so much for being here, for spending this time with me.
3 hours. No.
It's been
Two.
2 hours and hold on, and 25 minutes. Technically a little bit less because we didn't get started till like 4:20. I mean 3:20. So it's about two
Mm.
hours. Um, I'm not gonna do the let everybody know where they can find you. We all know where to find Kempire. At Kempire. He's one name. He's like Brittany, Janet, Mariah, Taria.
Brandy and Monica.
Yes, I was trying, duh, Brandy and Monica. Brandy, hands, I love Monica so much. And Brandy's voice just moves me in places that I've always like. Brandy's, one of my favorite songs of hers is He Is off of, I think that was
And
Full
that's probably
Moon.
like my least favorite song.
Really? I love that. Oh my gosh.
I know everybody loves it. I mean, I don't hate it, but it's probably like it's
Your
not
lead,
my go-to.
me, Corey's whole family sings, meaning he has five other siblings. All the brothers sing, all the sisters sing, his mom and dad sang, all of his first cousins. And I don't mean sing, y'all, I mean sang. All of them sing. I said, if my kids didn't come out singing, he probably would have had a DNA test. So they sang. But for his sister, what's it called? When you get married again? When she renewed her vows, we sang back, she sang that to her husband, and we sang the backup for it, a couple of us. He is, I love
Oh,
that. I've loved anybody that has known me since, like, for a long time, and they say what is one of her favorite songs, that's it. But Brandy really is I love an alto, and I
mm.
love just her range. She really is like amazing. So
I love
I thought
Brandy.
about going to see her and Monica, but I'm not a concert person. I'm not.
I think you should go.
That means I have to get a suit. Okay.
No, no, I see a lot of people not wearing suits. You do not have to get this. I will be wearing a suit because I have plenty of suits, but
Yeah,
I will be wearing.
I love them. They are Black Girl Magic. They are
Mhm.
their verses. I did not sit down. My daughter
Yeah.
was taping me. I set the entire, I stood up like pretty much the entire time. It was amazing. Just like you, Kempire, thank you so much. Y'all make sure that y'all go to Kempire, subscribe to his YouTube channel if you're not already. If y'all don't know, he has a podcast and some stuff that he covers on the podcast, he doesn't cover on YouTube. So you might want to do the subscription because he covers all kinds of stuff, not just non-scripted stuff, but scripted stuff as well. He has the merch. He has the Are You Okay? We are currently planning his tour for 2026, so stay tuned. We'll let you know. No,
They were
we're.
asking for, are you okay?
Okay, I love that. I like that it's in red because it's bold.
Oh, I have different colors too on the website.
Okay. Oh, now I got to go to the website and tell you what color I want you to send me. I did
Exactly.
send you my address though, you know. Look at me being an influencer getting merch. Because Meredith Marks, you never sent my Brooks Marks jumpsuit, sweatsuit.
She's too busy bumping into things and chipping her tooth.
Talking about talk about putting the high in higher education. On that note, y'all, we'll talk to y'all later. See ya.
Ah.